Chapter 191. When Lin Luoran shows up again, the cyan little fox is circling around the place where she disappeared. Seeing Lin Luoran, it doesn't understand why Lin Luoran always disappears. Lin Luoran is in a good mood. The two foxes tried to save Wen Guanjing and she has a good impression of them. Lin Luoran hands a peach to the cyan little fox. Wen Guanjing's condition has stabilized. Lin Luoran doesn't know when he will wake up. She can only hope that he will wake up soon. Meanwhile, she meditates in the cave. She doesn't feel bored. In fact, the fox cave has the fragrance of medicine and flowers, so it's not bad to stay here. What's worse is that there is no day or night in the underground world. There is always a dim light. Lin Luoran feels depressed here. Lin Luoran can only focus on her cultivation. On one hand, she hopes that time will fly and Wen Guanjing will wake up soon. On the other hand, she wants time to slow down so that she can find Baojia. The white fox is getting weaker. The cyan little fox is careless. After eating the peach, it jumps around in the cave. The huge fluorescent flower stands there quietly. Lin Luoran slowly calms down. The effect of the blood pool is powerful. It helps her break through the early stage of laying foundation. However, she hasn't reached the middle stage of laying foundation yet. Lin Luoran can't take it lightly. The thing about the woman in black hasn't been solved yet. She can't stay in Africa for too long. She will go back after finding Baojia. Lin Luoran makes up her mind. The mystery of the disappearance of a cultivator in the level of gathering vitality is not something she needs to know at this stage. After so many years, many people must have tried to find some clues. Since there is no conclusion, they can't solve the mystery by just coming to the desert. Lin Luoran observes the nebula of Reiki inside her body. The color of the fire Reiki seems to be darker. Is it because of the strange fire? Lin Luoran is free now. She can't help thinking about Wen Guanjing's meridians. She feels it carefully and feels that it is not much better than the breathing method she is practicing now. Strange, could it be that what Master Jia taught her was something good? She hasn't seen Master Jia for more than 3 years. She doesn't know how he is doing. Lin Luoran must ask Sister Wang about Master Jia when she goes out. The two foxes and Lin Luoran stay with each other quietly. At first, Lin Luoran is distracted, but later, she is completely immersed in cultivation. When she wakes up again, Wen Guanjing is looking at her with a smile. Seeing that Lin opens her eyes, Wen Guanjing says, "Thank you, senior sister." Lin Luoran feels his breath carefully. As expected, he has made great progress. After the fire test, Wen Guanjing successfully reaches the completion of training qi, after absorbing the fire Reiki from the strange fire. Although it seemed that his realm was still unstable, as long as he went back and went into seclusion, he would be able to cross over safely. It was not too serious. Congratulations, congratulations. However, you still have to thank these two foxes for helping you. After all, Wen Guanjing is half a lifesaver. Though he is prejudiced against aliens, he has to express his gratitude. Lin Luoran jumps up and pats the dust off her clothes. She says, "Let's go. We have wasted too much time." Wen Guanjing hesitates. Lin Luoran can pay him back slowly, but what about the two foxes? He did not want to owe these two beasts a life-saving debt. Lin Luoran sighs and walks to the white fox. "What can we do for you?" "We can try our best." Even if Wen Guanjing can't do it, Lin Luoran can only transfer the favor to Lin Luoran. The white fox pushes the cyan little fox to the front of Lin Luoran. "Is it going to entrust its orphan to me?" For some reason, Lin Luoran had this idea when she found out that the white fox was dying and saved Wen Guanjing's life. However, if Wen Guanjing wants to accept the cyan little fox, it will be too difficult for a man to hold a fox all the time. Ahem, there are so many legends about the fox fairy. Maybe Wen Guanjing is looking forward to it. Lin Luoran doesn't have to make the decision for Wen Guanjing. Lin Luoran asks him to negotiate with the white fox. Well, as expected, Wen Guanjing doesn't want to accept the cyan little fox. However, the white fox seems to want to entrust the cyan little fox to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran has never thought that one day she will raise a fox that seems to know how to find medicine. Little thing, are you willing to go with me? Lin Luoran squats down. She has a good impression of the cyan little fox. The cyan little fox is so cute. In fact, Lin Luoran almost vomits blood. It is not a little thing. It is older than you. No one knows what the cyan little fox is thinking. It probably wants to play on the ground and come back soon, so it doesn't object. However, it doesn't know that the white fox is dying and it wants to entrust its orphan to Lin Luoran. The cyan little fox nods, and the white fox smiles. Lin Luoran picks up the cyan little fox, puts it on her shoulder and leaves the cave with Wen Guanjing. Lin Luoran looks back at the white fox. It is still standing, but its life has already died. It is cute. I will take good care of it. Lin Luoran whispers to the white fox. The white fox moves its mouth. Lin Luoran thinks that it is saying, thank you, but she also feels weird. Only the old monkey, which is a primate, can speak human language. Goldie and the other primates must be very powerful, the white fox can't even defeat the gopher. Lin Luoran thinks that it must be her illusion. The cyan little fox looks back at the white fox from its shoulder with affection in its eyes. I am going to cultivate. Don't come back for a while. How long will it take? When you can go back to the ground by yourself. Oh. The cyan fox wants to go back to the ground by itself. Isn't it easy? It seems that the white fox won't be cultivating for a long time. If Lin Luoran could understand the language of the fox family, she would feel a little sad after hearing this. How could the white fox be in seclusion? Its life force was already fading away, and its lifespan was reaching its end. Lin Luoran holds the cyan little fox and leaves with Wen Guanjing. The gate of prohibition in front of the fox cave, which Lin Luoran didn't think was useful, becomes the same color and material as the surrounding tunnel after a flash. There is no difference anymore. Lin Luoran doesn't know all this. Or maybe it is because of what happened to them soon after they left the fox cave that Lin Luoran has no time to care about the white fox. Soon after they leave the fox cave, Lin Luoran sees a group of gopher running quickly from a side road. The army of gopher is shaking the earth. The cyan little fox twitches its pink nose. It seems to be uneasy. However, Lin Luoran is attracted by a piece of cloth being dragged by a gopher. She quickly grabs the gopher and lifts it up. It is a chiffon shirt. It belongs to Baojia. Baojia is nearby. Lin Luoran holds the cloth and her hands are shaking. When Guanjing is calmer, sister, the animals are running away in panic. It seems abnormal. Should we pay more attention? Chapter 192. Gophers are not the only ones running away in panic. There are also ants the size of eggs and insects like longhorn beetles. These enlarged versions of insects, rats, and ants are all running away. Just as when Guanjing said, they are running away. Lin Luoran wants to find Baojia. Unfortunately, the fox can communicate with each other. Maybe the situation is too complicated for Lin Luoran to understand the cyan little fox's gestures. What's more, the cyan little fox bites Lin Luoran's trouser leg when it sees the ants running away. It signals Lin Luoran to follow the direction of the ants. It's better to say that they are running away. There was definitely something wrong with the situation. Along the way, she had seen many scenes of rats and ants killing each other. It wasn't a group of rats trampling over the ants, quickly reaping their lives and taking away the corpses of the ants that were the size of eggs to feast on. There was also a group of ants surrounding a single rat. A rat the size of a cat couldn't resist the encirclement of the ants, and in the end, only a bloody skeleton was left. Now, these two kinds of enemies are running in the same direction. They are running in the same tunnel. They are not fighting or gnawing. They are just running away. Pulled by the cyan little fox, Lin Luoran finally decides to run in the direction of the gophers. Baojia is an adult, not an idiot. If she is in the underground, she will definitely do something when she sees the abnormal behavior of the animals. It is very likely that she will find Baojia at the place where the animals gather. Without hesitation, Lin Luoran picks up the cyan little fox and joins the migration of the gophers and insects with Wen Guanjing. As expected, the gophers and insects don't attack Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing, who seem to be easy targets. In the dim light of the tunnel, Lin Luoran, Wen Guanjing, and the fox are also running. The gophers and insects can always find their way in the crisscrossing tunnels. They barely eat when they are running fast. Along the way, many animals run out of other tunnels and join the escape team. The gophers and insects that fall behind will scream or twist anxiously, as if they will be in danger if they fall behind. Lin Luoran has no choice but to run in the middle of the team. In fact, when it comes to running, they are not as strong as these underground creatures. Wen Guanjing hasn't laid foundation, so he can't use the wind-riding spell. The tunnel is narrow and he can't ride on his sword. Lin is thinking if she should take Wen Guanjing with her. Suddenly, Wen takes out a piece of yellow paper, murmurs something and sticks it to his feet. With a flash of yellow light, Wen Guanjing's speed increases several times. Seeing that Lin is looking at him curiously, Wen Guanjing explains, "This is the teleport figure. The Wen family made it for the Qingqing Taoist temple." Lin Luoran suddenly understands. It turned out that talismans were the specialty of Qingqing Taoist temple. It was just like how Shu Mountain produced sword cultivators. These sects and clans that had their own focus seemed to be able to survive longer. Could it be that the Lin family was going to specialize in alchemy in the future? Lin Luoran gets rid of this thought and starts to hurry on. The cyan little fox holds Lin's neck tightly. It is wondering if the white fox has started its closed-door training. It should be okay for it to escape this time, right? Lin Luoran keeps changing tunnels. She can feel that they are going to a higher place. She doesn't know how deep they are. They have been climbing for a long time, but the tunnels are still the same. If they are buried deep underground, how do they solve the problem of breathing? Lin Luoran feels that there should be some exits that connect to the surface of the earth. The Scorpion King probably came from the underground world. However, Lin Luoran hasn't seen such a large animal yet. She only sees some gophers and ants that are abnormally large, so she can't make a judgment. Along the way, Lin Luoran takes a break. She doesn't fall behind. From time to time, she digs out some glowing materials from the tunnel and throws them into the space. This underground world is obviously another world that hasn't been discovered by human beings. It is hidden under the Kalahari Desert. Lin Luoran doesn't want to be disturbed by others after she gets out. However, she can do some research on her own. Spiritual foxes that can find herbs, gophers the size of cats, and ants the size of eggs. The food chain is obviously missing. Lin Luoran also finds a kind of mushroom on the wet tunnel wall. It is black and stinks. All insects and animals passing by it take a detour as if they have seen a ghost. Lin Luoran takes a jade box and puts some mushrooms into it. The cyan little fox wrinkles its nose. It can't stand the smell of the mushrooms on her hands. Wen Guanjing knows that the fox comes from the alchemy school and seems to be naturally curious about all kinds of plants and minerals. The tunnel is getting wider and wider. Gradually, they come to an open place. Not to mention Lin Luoran, who is full of curiosity. Even Wen Guanjing is dazzled. They see a lot of things that look like pasture. Yes, pasture. Although the grass is black, which is different from the color on the surface of the earth, it does smell like grass. A gray-furred animal the size of a hunting dog ate 2 mouthfuls of grass unwillingly before reluctantly joining the fleeing group. Their long ears and big incisors betray the fact that they are rabbits. When Guanjing points at the rabbits and says with a smile, "We can hunt too to replenish our food." These rabbits are bulky and can't run fast. Lin Luoran is not interested in eating rabbit meat at this time. However, the fur is really beautiful. It looks much glossier than any mink fur. It can be a gift for Lin Luoran. Among the people Lin Luoran knows, only Mrs. Lin and Wang Miao Yi are old enough to wear fur. Bao Jia is not willing to wear gray rabbit fur. There are some white rabbits among the group of gray rabbits. They are also the size of hounds. Lin Luoran is hesitating whether to eat them. The cyan little fox pulls her hair. It turns out that the cyan little fox is very surprised when it hears that they are going to hunt rabbits. Rabbit meat is delicious, but it can't eat it. Later, the white foxes are always sick, so they don't eat it often. Now that it hears that they are going to hunt rabbits, it doesn't even care about running away. Its saliva drips on Lin Luoran's shoulder. "Do you want to eat it?" The cyan little fox nods hard. Lin Luoran suddenly realizes that she is stupid. No fox in the world is vegetarian. Now they have to catch rabbits, or they will be suspected of abusing pets. When Guanjing reaches out his hand and grabs a gray rabbit by its neck. Unexpectedly, the previously docile rabbit turns around and bites him. If Wen Guanjing didn't react fast enough, his hand would have been bitten off. The escaping rabbit is not afraid of people. It jumps at Wen Guanjing and attacks him. It is not clumsy at all. Wen Guanjing is about to throw a fireball at it. Lin Luoran, who is worried about the rabbit fur, hurries to remind him, "Don't hurt the fur." When Guanjing reaches out a finger and touches the head of the gray rabbit. He knocks it out with fire Reiki. With the teleport figure on his feet, he moves fast and catches several rabbits. When Guanjing's universal sac is full, so he has to kill them one by one and give them to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran is thinking about whether to hunt the white rabbits. When she takes the game from Wen Guanjing, the whole tunnel shakes without any warning. The cyan little fox's expression changes dramatically. Lin Luoran looks around. Only a few slow rabbits are still in the tunnel. The rest of the insects and mice are gone. Damn it! They are bold and skillful. They catch 2 rabbits on the way and waste their time. Chapter 193. In the glowing tunnel, the cyan little fox is moving at an amazing speed. It is running so fast that its feet don't even touch the ground. Wen and Lin Luoran follow the cyan little fox closely. Along the way, they had already overtaken many animals with their speed. Not only were there rabbits that had grown bigger, but they also discovered deer that were smaller than rabbits. They were unbelievably thin, but their running speed was also unbelievably fast. The cyan little fox never stops. Lin and Wen don't dare to stop either. They already had a feeling of what was about to happen. The temperature in the tunnel is rising. Lin feels like she is in a sauna. Her cheeks are red and her body is covered with sticky sweat. Lava. Lin doesn't know how often the lava erupts in the underground world. Maybe this is the origin of these crisscrossing tunnels. Lin blames herself for ignoring this problem. Why can a cave breathe the strange fire? Without the support of the magnificent fire Reiki, the strange fire can't be bred. She should have thought of this. She is too careless. Lin Luoran glances at Wen Guanjing out of the corner of her eyes. He is sweating because of the high temperature and he is biting his lips tightly. Most importantly, the teleport figure on his feet is dim. It seems that it won't last long. The tunnel is getting wider and hotter. The top of the tunnel is about 3 meters above the ground. Lin is calculating whether she can call out the bright sword so that everyone can save their energy. Suddenly, they hear the screams of animals behind them. It turned out that the fiery hot lava had already caught up to them. A rabbit that was running slower was suddenly submerged. It only had time to let out a miserable cry, and it was never seen raising its head again in the lava. In the boiling lava, the animals that fall into it scream in pain. Occasionally, their bodies are exposed by the flowing lava, but their fur is gone. They look like ghosts that are skinned alive in horror movies. Lin Luoran can't help but shiver. "Let's go!" Lin shouts. The bright sword soars and picks up the cyan little fox. Wen jumps on the sword as well. The lava looks sticky and slow, but it is actually very fast. Lin Luoran casts the sword riding spell. The speed of the flying sword is not slow. However, even though the tunnel has become higher, there are still 2 or 3 hanging sharp stalagmites on the top of the tunnel. Lin Luoran has to control the flying sword while avoiding the dangers on the top of her head. Because of this, the speed of the flying sword slows down. The molten lava seems to be spreading behind their feet. Because the top of the cave is wide and the lava is advancing layer by layer, Lin Luoran still has some space to avoid the lava and keep a distance from it. However, the situation is not optimistic. If the tunnel becomes narrower and lower all of a sudden, the magma will squeeze and gush out and drown both of them. To be honest, Lin Luoran doesn't know how long her protective cover can last under the power of nature. Along the way, animals and insects are swallowed by the lava. The cyan little fox is so scared that it holds Lin's neck tightly. It is unrealistic to expect the fox to show them the way. Fortunately, although the animals are confused by the lava, they are still running in the same direction. A gopher sprained its ankle, and a rabbit jumped over it. The rabbit managed to escape, but the gopher that used it as a stepping stone died tragically in the lava. In the short span of a few minutes, this kind of thing had happened many times. Everyone wants to escape. However, compared to other animals, Lin sees an elk running with a smaller elk on its back. The hot lava spreads to its feet. The elk runs fast with its slender limbs. Its hind legs are bloody, but it doesn't drop the baby elk. A wave of lava comes, and the elk jumps. Because of the weight on its back, it can't jump as high as usual. Its forelegs just make a beautiful arc, and then its whole body, including the baby elk on its back, is swallowed by the lava. They are all dead. Lin's eyes turn red. She feels sorry for the elk when she sees it running with the baby elk on its back. However, before she can help them, they are dead. The carefree cyan little fox is sad. It thinks of Whitey. If Whitey were here, he would carry it on his back and run away. Wen Guanjing is also worried. His flying sword has been repaired, but it can't be used in the tunnel. Besides, the flying sword is not good at flying fast. He can only stand behind the bright sword and watch the lava closely. From time to time, he reminds Lin to speed up or controls the flying sword to fly up. He is making a gesture. It is the fireproof shield of the Wen family. It is a secret spell of the Wen family that can be used by all 5 elements. The shield can protect Wen Guanjing from the lava, but it can also drain all the Reiki in Wen Guanjing's body. Wen's level is not stable. Without the suppression, he will fall to the late stage of training Qi, and he doesn't know when he can advance again. Therefore, Wen Guanjing is just ready. He won't use the fireproof shield until the last moment. The hot lava splashes. Standing behind the flying sword, Wen Guanjing's clothes are burned and his face is burned. The situation is not optimistic. As the tunnel becomes narrower, the lava is getting closer and closer to them. Sister Lin. Seeing that the lava is about to burst out, Wen Guanjing can't help but shout. Lin Luoran purses her lips. She knows that the lava is getting closer. However, as the tunnel becomes smaller, Lin Luoran decides to take a gamble. Squat down. Lin Luoran holds the cyan little fox tightly. She is almost hanging on the flying sword. The bright sword is only so far away from the sword. It's okay for them to stand still. However, If they squat down, they will inevitably bump into each other. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to care about this kind of thing. When Guanjing's fireproof shield is opened immediately, a stream of hot lava hits the shield, making a sizzling sound. When Guanjing's fireproof shield and Lin Luoran's Reiki shield are lit up, even with these two layers of protection, their flying swords are almost knocked down by the lava. A little lower, Lin Luoran lowers her body. She feels that the sharp stalagmites are rubbing against her scalp. The light of the flying sword and the shield is faintly visible in the red lava. The terrain of the tunnel seems to change, right here. Lin Luoran's hands shine with golden light. The stalagmites explode and the debris falls into the lava, making a big splash. In the flying debris, when Guanjing's fireproof shield disintegrates, Lin Luoran's shield only has a thin layer left. At this moment, they finally get out of the tunnel and feel the feeling of surviving a disaster. It was truly a new lease of life. It was unknown whether it was due to the terrain or the restrictions of some kind of power, but when the lava reached here, its momentum slowed down. It slowly rose up, but it was no longer as ferocious. In front of Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing, there is an extremely wide arch with many tunnels connected to it. There are tens of thousands of animals on the arch. They must have run here from various tunnels, and before the lava engulfed them, they came to this place that was like a refuge. Some animals are also wounded. Lin Luoran bends over and coughs. At the last moment, both her and Wen Guanjing's shields are broken. Both of them eat a mouthful of ash. The smell of sulfur in the lava is not pleasant. Wen Guanjing is also covered with ash. The cyan little fox shakes off the ash and sneezes several times. The arched platform is quite large. Lin Luoran directs the flying sword to land. Seeing the two strange creatures, the animals automatically make way for them. Although the lava is still spreading and many of the animals are still scared, they feel safe here because this is a shelter that has existed for many years. Lin Luoran cleans up the dust on her face and asks the cyan little fox, "Does lava erupt often underground?" The cyan little fox nods and then shakes its head. After talking with the cyan little fox for a long time, Lin Luoran finally understands that there will be traces of lava erupting in the underground every year. The animals in this area always start to gather here before the lava erupts. Lin Luoran and the cyan little fox have seen a lot of things, so they only meet rabbits that need to eat some grass before they are willing to go on their way. However, this time the lava doesn't erupt on time. Many animals are caught off guard and the lava is fiercer than before. That's why there are more casualties than before. Somehow, after asking the cyan little fox, Lin Luoran feels a little guilty. If there is anything unusual this time, it is that they come to the underground. Maybe it has something to do with her taking the strange fire. Lin Luoran tries to convince herself that it is impossible. After all, it is just a small ball of fire. Sister, don't worry too much. The underground is so big. There are obviously not enough animals here. Obviously, there are other shelters. Wen Guanjing doesn't care about the drop in his level. However, he is glad that he can escape from death. He knows the relationship between Lin Luoran and Baojia. Seeing that Baojia is not among these animals, he thinks that Lin Luoran's absent-mindedness is because she is worried. Lin Luoran comes to herself. The largest animal here is a kind that looks like a seal, but it is more than 2 times bigger than a seal. There are thousands of them, occupying the highest and most central safe area of the platform. They are all lying on the ground to rest. They must have paid a huge price to come here with such a heavy body. In this way, they can see clearly. Baojia is a living person, so it is impossible for her to hide among a group of animals like rats and rabbits. Baojia is not here. However, this is not what Lin Luoran is worried about at this time. The lava is rolling a few meters away from them. Even if it stops rising, as long as it doesn't recede as usual, the real disaster will just begin. Because it comes so suddenly, animals are not as prepared as before. Carnivores must fight on this high platform. Will herbivores be forced to eat meat? Chapter 194. Lin Luoran feels that she is a jinx. After a day, the lava is still rolling. Instead of receding, it rises a few meters higher. This abnormal phenomenon makes the animals panic. They have to move closer to the top of the open space to find a safer position so that they won't be harmed by the lava when it rises again. There are dozens of kinds of animals in different sizes and positions in the food chain. At first, everyone was living in peace because of the disaster. However, as the distance between them shrinks and they get closer to each other, the first commotion that Lin Luoran guesses breaks out. The cause of the commotion is an ant. It accidentally steps into the territory of a gopher and is swallowed by a gopher. The ant is still smacking its lips. The ants here are all angry and send out a large army. As the saying goes, many ants can kill an elephant. Except for the gopher, which has the same fecundity as the gopher, few animals are stupid enough to attack the gopher when the army of ants is gathering. Therefore, the animals choose to stand aside and watch the war between the gopher and the ants. The two armies fight very fast. Soon, there are dead bodies on the ground where the gopher and the ants fought. Lin Luoran doesn't feel disgusted by the natural selection of the gopher and the ants. What disgusts her is that the dead bodies of the gopher and the ants are fighting for them. Fighting for each other's dead bodies is just a trophy of war. However, the gopher and the ants are fighting for the dead bodies of the gopher and the ants. At first, Lin Luoran thinks that the gopher and the gopher are collecting the dead bodies of their own kind. Wen Guanjing also feels that although the gopher and the ants are different, they are still loyal. However, soon, the reality slaps them in the face. The gopher drags the dead gopher back, and the ants carry the dead ants back. Lin Luoran sees that a group of gopher rushes to enjoy the dead gopher's body. The ants first offer the body to the giant queen, ensuring that the queen has enough food. Then they eat themselves. Lin Luoran feels that her heart is in turmoil. She has to control herself to stop herself from throwing up. It was like cannibalism. During mating, the male praying mantis would bite off its head when it was in a trance state, and then slowly eat the entire body of the male praying mantis. The male praying mantis would become the nutrition for the unborn child. If this could be covered up with the excuse of reproduction, but at this time, the animals had only been trapped for a day. They were not at the end of their rope yet. Why did they have to do this? That's right, ants are numerous, small, and easy to carry, so the ants chose to bring back the corpses of their own kind? And dead gophers had more meat, which was more in line with the gopher's appetite. If that was the case, why was there a need to start this slaughter? This was clearly more like the two clans had a premeditated plan to eliminate the old, weak, sick, and disabled in order to prepare for an even crueler battle royale. However, Lin Luoran really can't accept the fact that it is eliminated and then used as food. Lin Luoran didn't worry about the shortage of food. What she didn't want to see was endless harassment. When the animals became crazier and crazier, they would always stare at them. This place is like a small plain, crowded with countless animals. Although they haven't seen any giant animals like the Scorpion King, if the animals in front of them chose to attack them, Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing could kill them until their hands became weak. The first day passed in silence. Under the high temperature, people were sleepy, and animals were no exception. Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing sat in a corner. Lin Luoran released her spiritual mind, which was so suppressed that it could be regarded as a tragedy. She told the cyan little fox not to leave her side again and then began to cultivate. Wen Guanjing's level had dropped, so he didn't regret it. However, the plain surrounded by molten lava was full of fire reiki. He had to recover his reiki as soon as possible. Wen Guanjing and Wen Guanjing both felt uneasy. They were involved in this situation because of the murals, but they knew nothing about the murals. The inhibition in the broken wall in the desert was obviously not the work of nature. It was the work of cultivators. The sudden sinking of the sand was the inevitable result of the inhibition. Someone, or something, wanted them to come down to this underground world. Wen Guanjing thought more about these questions than Lin Luoran. Growing up in a family of cultivators, Wen Guanjing had some advantages that Lin Luoran couldn't have, such as information and documents. Wen Guanjing was 100% sure that the cultivation world didn't know about this underground world. There were unusual animals in the underground world, crisscrossing tunnels, glowing plants, strange fire, and all kinds of spirit herbs. If this place had been discovered earlier, it would have been the best place for training. The cultivation world wouldn't give up on this fat piece of meat. Therefore, there might be clues about the disappearance of cultivators in the level of gathering vitality here. However, they didn't know where to start. When Lin Luoran opened her eyes again, the arched plain was still hot. The red light shone on the rock walls, indicating that the molten lava was still there. The cyan little fox was not in her arms. Lin Luoran was so surprised that she almost jumped up. She calmed herself down and found that the cyan little fox was 3 feet away from her, digging the ground with its claws. Lin Luoran was relieved, but then she frowned again. She was cultivating last night. How did she fall asleep? Wen Guanjing lowered his head. Lin Luoran suppressed her uneasiness and shook him to wake him up. Both of them fell asleep. This was not normal. In such an environment, both of them had been cultivating all night and were very vigilant. How could they fall asleep at the same time? Lin Luoran looked up and found that many animals were sleeping. For example, the giant seal that occupied the centermost position was sleeping soundly. Small animals like gophers and ants were also resting here and there. The only exceptions were the cyan little fox, the rabbits in the size of hounds, and the elks with long legs. These gentle animals were not affected at all, or they woke up earlier than Lin Luoran. Anyway, when Lin Luoran opened her eyes, she found that they were digging the ground like the cyan little fox. If these gentle herbivores were not asleep, then the first one to wake up should be Lin Luoran, who had the highest level of cultivation. Lin Luoran shivered. If she didn't wake up, or if she didn't have the luck to wake up first next time, would she be taken away by some kind of creature in her sleep? Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing talked about it, and both of them believed that there was a mysterious being, much more powerful than them in the underground. Maybe it was the curse of the devil that Yaki mentioned, or maybe it was just an extremely powerful alien. Is it a monster cultivator, a devil, or a cultivator? Lin Luoran was worried. She was not afraid of powerful enemies. She was afraid of powerful enemies that never showed up. Such beings were not only powerful but also meticulous, which was the most difficult for them to escape. Squeak, the cyan little fox finally stopped digging and threw something in front of Lin Luoran. It was a plant tuber buried deep in the soil. There was a sprout on the yellow wet soil. Obviously, it was the root of some kind of plant. The root was nurturing energy and it was waiting for the season to come. For me. The cyan little fox kept asking Lin Luoran to pick it up. Lin Luoran finally realized that the little fox was too smart. From what it saw, they had caught some rabbits on the way and they had enough food for the time being. However, the little fox insisted on digging the tuber. Was it preparing for a rainy day? Lin Luoran realized that the herbivores like the rabbits and the elks were also digging the roots and tubers of various plants buried deep in the soil. Of course, there was some hay that had not rotted yet, which could also be used to fill their stomachs. Lin Luoran was still amazed by the adaptability of animals. Seeing Wen Guanjing's worried face, she cheered up and said, "Shall we roast a rabbit?" Lin Luoran handed a rabbit to Wen Guanjing. Wen Guanjing soon made a shiny roast rabbit with a spell. The rabbit was so big that they could not finish it in one meal. Lin Luoran didn't care, but the cyan little fox ate so much that its belly was round. Of course, the little pile of tubers it found was still guarded. Except for Lin Luoran, no one was allowed to get close to the food it had stored. The aroma of the roast rabbit woke up the sleeping animals. Although the aroma of the roast rabbit was tempting, animals were naturally alert. They knew that Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing were powerful. They would not provoke them until the last moment. However, the carnivores, including the big seal, were aroused and they had not eaten for a day. Finally, they started to eat the tender herbivores like the rabbits and the elks. The rabbits jumped and the elks ran. The ground was covered with blood. The cyan little fox buried its head in Lin Luoran's arms, scared by the screams. Lin Luoran frowned. When Guanjing suddenly said, "Sister, in fact, these carnivores are not only for food. Have you noticed that the lava has risen again after one night? The elks, rabbits, and goats are digging the ground. Soon, the plain will become shorter. The plain will become shorter. When a wave of lava comes, the lava flows backward. Except for Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing, no one can escape by riding on their swords. In fact, riding on a sword can't last forever. The sky is full of black rocks and some glowing substances. Lin Luoran is not sure how close they are to the ground and whether they can dig a hole to escape before the lava fills up. Lin Luoran doesn't want to escape either. She hasn't found Baojia yet. As soon as this idea comes to her mind, the sky seems to be playing a joke on Lin Luoran. The stones in the sky start to shake. A ray of light shines down. Lin Luoran sets up a shield of light. Many unprotected animals are hit by the falling stones. When the wind calms down, Lin Luoran looks up. In the dim light, she sees a man in flowing clothes riding an animal with 4 flaming hooves descending slowly. The animals on the ground are all shivering. Only Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing are still standing straight. Their eyes are wide open in disbelief. The woman looks around and murmurs something. She never gets off the back of the firehoof beast. Baojia, Lin Luoran can't help but say. It turns out that it is Baojia. Lin Luoran can't help but call out with excitement. The woman looks at Lin Luoran with cold and noble eyes. It seems that she doesn't know Lin Luoran at all. Chapter 195. The woman's eyes are cold as if she has no human feelings. She glances at Lin Luoran with a strange and emotionless look and asks calmly, "Who is Baojia?" Lin Luoran feels like she is hit on the head with a stick. Baojia disappeared outside the Bushman's tribe. Lin Luoran took Wen Guanjing with her and forced Yaqi to lead the way. Barney was unwilling to let her go. The 4 of them trekked in the desert. They encountered scorpions and were sucked into the underground world by the quicksand. Then they met Wen Guanjing again. Through the vibration of space and the danger of lava. Baojia was her sister. Lin Luoran had to save her willingly without any complaint. However, Baojia is standing in front of her like a stranger. Lin Luoran feels cold all over. Wen Guanjing, who has been silent, tugs at Lin Luoran's sleeve. "Sister. She may not be Baojia," he says in a low voice, but he doesn't try to hide it. He can feel that this Baojia is unfathomably powerful. As a bystander, he can think calmly. Qin Baojia is so weak. How can she be as powerful as the ocean? The woman in front of him is not Sister Lin's friend at all. Lin Luoran is reminded by Wen Guanjing. She is calm and meticulous. However, the sudden appearance of Baojia distracts her. She steps back and looks at the woman. She is wearing a pink ancient robe with wide sleeves. Her hair is tied up with a silk ribbon and it reaches her ankles. Except for her face, she looks nothing like Baojia. Baojia doesn't like wearing ancient clothes. She has expressed her confusion about Li Shi's love for Tang clothes. Before coming to Africa, Baojia cut her hair short to cope with the hot weather. She looks bright and pretty. She hasn't seen Baojia for a long time. Even if it has been half a month, her hair can't reach her ankles. Baojia's long and narrow eyes are always full of spirit, which gives her a kind of unruly beauty. If Lin Luoran is a warm jade, Baojia is a sparkling diamond. Lin Luoran's eyes fall on the eyes of Baojia. Her eyes are calm and indifferent, like the floating clouds in the sky. Is this really not Baojia? Unconsciously, Lin Luoran clenches her hands. Lin Luoran takes a few steps back quietly. The woman who rides the beast and looks exactly like Baojia asks, "Who is Baojia?" She doesn't seem to care about Lin Luoran at all, so she doesn't ask further. She looks around and is satisfied with the animals trembling. Suddenly, she turns around and says to Lin Luoran and Xiao Xian, "Why don't you kneel down?" Kneel down? Why should we kneel? It is Wen Guanjing who asks. After Wen Guanjing asks, Lin finally sees another expression on the face of long-haired Baojia other than indifference. Anger? Yes, faint anger. With her anger, Lin Luoran waves her sleeves and Wen Guanjing steps back uncontrollably. No, it should be said that Wen Guanjing is suddenly hit away like a stone. Of course, Lin Luoran can't let Wen Guanjing fly away. Behind them is the boiling lava. If Wen Guanjing falls down, Lin Luoran can't even collect his body. Therefore, at the same time, Lin Luoran throws out a green vine which is full of woodreiki. The iron thorn seed instantly turns into a vine and twines around Wen Guanjing's waist. Bind! Lin Luoran shouts and tries to take back the vines. However, Wen Guanjing is so fast that he almost pulls her into the lava with him. Lin Luoran's feet are already off the ground. She steps on the hot wall around the plane and her shoes are almost burned. Luckily, they are able to stand on the plane again with Lin Luoran's help. Lin Luoran is panting and looks at the long-haired woman vigilantly. She now believes that the woman standing in front of her is not Baojia, she just looks like Baojia. Don't be fooled. She wants to kill Wen Guanjing. How can this woman be Baojia? Lin Luoran doesn't think about the worst possibility. The woman in front of them is Baojia. However, just like the woman in white in the secret land, Baojia has been possessed, the enemy is strong and they are weak. Wen Guanjing don't know what to do except to look at the long-haired woman with vigilance. You are just chi trainers. You really don't know how high the sky is. The long-haired woman makes a conclusion. She doesn't seem to want to kill them. She doesn't even ask them to kneel down. Because the animal with 4 flaming hooves, a horn on its head, a body like a cow, and a face like a deer, let out a ba-ba sound. The long-haired woman seems to be able to understand it. She is surprised. She stands up and looks at Lin Luoran's feet. Since she showed up on the beast, the cyan little fox, which tries to make people ignore it, has been lying by Lin Luoran's feet. It's you. Why are you hiding? The long-haired woman smiles. The cyan little fox is reluctant. However, when the long-haired woman waves to it, it can't control its body and flies to her. Lin Luoran is afraid that the long-haired woman will hurt the cyan little fox. As soon as she moves her right hand, a ball of light hits Lin Luoran's hand. Lin Luoran feels severe pain in her right hand. The long-haired woman says coldly, "You are just a chi trainer. If you dare to act rashly again, don't blame me for ignoring the sacrifice and killing you on the spot." Saintess? Sacrifice? Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing are confused. The saintess ignores them. Holding the frightened cyan little fox in her arms, the saintess gets back on the animal with 4 burning hooves. In the eyes of Wen Guanjing, the saintess rises slowly into the sky and disappears into the big hole in the sky. Lin Luoran doesn't raise her hand until it is out of sight. The back of her white hand is burnt black. Her fingers are still trembling because of the pain. The casual attack of the saintess almost destroys Lin Luoran's right hand. The right hand was a very important existence for cultivators. Except for a few people who were born left-handed, everybody ate, wrote, and did everything that was convenient to them with their right hand. Therefore, when cultivators use spells, they could only use their right hand all the time in order to make all kinds of seals agilely. Only then would they be able to touch the mysterious power of rules in the world and cast dazzling spells. The saintess is very indifferent, even vicious. She is more like a saintess than a witch. Lin Luoran finally believes that even if she is Baojia, she probably can't remember her at all. Sister Lin, should we follow them? Wen Guanjing hasn't said anything since he was rescued. He is afraid that Lin Luoran will get into trouble again. Seeing that Lin Luoran is in a daze, Wen Guanjing can't help but remind her. The sky is suddenly opened and the light is pouring down, giving people a feeling that the exit of the underground world is up there. Wen Guanjing is tempted. Even if Wen Guanjing doesn't say anything, Lin Luoran will still follow them. What if that is Baojia who has lost her mind? As long as there is a little hope, Lin Luoran will not give up. Besides, there is the cyan little fox. Lin Luoran has promised the white fox that she will take care of it. She can't give up the cyan little fox without fighting for it. When they are about to fly up on their swords, they find that the plain under their feet is shaking. At that moment, Lin Luoran almost thinks that the cave without any support is going to collapse. After a while, she finds that the plain is rising slowly out of the magma. Some animals happen to be standing on the edge of the plain. They fall down in panic and are swallowed by the magma the moment they roll into it. Lin Luoran is caught off guard. She grabs Wen Guanjing's hand to stabilize herself. The plain is rising fast. The sky is moving to both sides and the light is getting brighter and brighter. There are tens of thousands of animals on the plain. You can imagine how big the plain is. However, it is rising fast out of the ground under the influence of a force. Lin Luoran suddenly has a bad feeling about the sacrifice that the saintess mentioned. The plain is rising higher and higher, and the animals are screaming. Finally, the plain was level with the dome, and with a crack, the plain was firmly embedded in the hole that the dome had cracked open. This is an exquisite mechanism. Lin Luoran can't believe that someone has designed such a tight mechanism with the plain as the bottom. Lin Luoran holds back her shock and looks around. She is sure that she has never seen so many animals in her life. The plain they are standing on is full of all kinds of animals. It seems that they have just been brought here by the rise of the plain. Most of them are panicked and keep stamping the ground with their hooves. Lin Luoran counts. There are 8 such plains in total, surrounding a high platform in the middle in a circle. This was a flight of stairs that emitted a jade-like luster. The holy maiden was wearing a lotus-colored dress and was currently climbing up. The jade stairs seemed to extend all the way to the horizon, with no end in sight. They are out of the underground. Lin Luoran suddenly finds that the plain is surrounded by soft yellow sand. At the end of the jade staircase, there are shining stars all over the sky. The desert wind is hot. However, compared with the boiling magma underground, it is cool and pleasant. Lin Luoran takes a deep breath. This must be the surface of the Kalahari Desert. It is really unexpected that they can get out of the underground so easily after such a struggle. The saintess walks further and further away on the high platform. Her clothes are flying, and it seems that she is about to disappear into the night sky. When Lin Luoran is thinking about how long she is going to climb, the saintess finally stops. The four-hooved fire beast galloped down the jade stairs. The saintess stroked its head, revealing a nostalgic expression. There is a small ball on the back of the fire beast. Lin Luoran has sharp eyes and finds that it is the cyan little fox. The saintess holds the fox in her arms again. Unexpectedly, the cyan little fox jumps out of her arms. The saintess is going to catch it, but then she says angrily, "I wanted to take you with me because of our old friendship. Since you don't appreciate it, you can become a sacrifice together with me." Lin Luoran's heart beats fast. She casts the wind-riding spell and catches the cyan little fox. Its eyes are wet. It seems that it is very afraid of the saintess. The saintess snorts and flies up on the fire beast. Lin Luoran thinks of the sacrifice that the saintess mentioned. She is alert and drags Wen Guanjing to the edge of the plain. A curtain of light rises and cuts off Wen Guanjing's cuffs. 8 huge beams of light cover the plain and the jade stairs are shining brightly. Chapter 196. The light curtain suddenly rises and cuts Wen Guanjing's cuff. They just step on the soft yellow sand. Tens of thousands of animals are surrounded by the light curtain and they don't dare to move. These were 8 gigantic and extraordinarily magnificent restrictive spells. If the saintess didn't knock Wen Guanjing into the lava and Lin Luoran didn't save him, they might still be among the animals instead of running away from the edge of the plain. They start to feel uneasy. Although the saintess and the 4-hoofed beast are very powerful, they also want to run away. Lin Luoran, Wen Guanjing, and the cyan little fox that the saintess said was ungrateful, haven't even had the time to celebrate their escape when they see the panicked animals running into the inhibition. Instead of bouncing off like the inhibition Lin Luoran has seen before, the animals are killed mercilessly. That's right, he didn't hesitate to kill without mercy. The other mammoth that was pushed by one of the mammoths fell on the light curtain. In the next moment, it was killed into a pile of rotten meat, including the 2 long tusks that ordinary people would definitely covet. They were also crushed in the pile of rotten meat. The more the light screen scared the animals, the more they panicked. Lin Luoran can't see how many animals have died because the 8 huge light curtains are all painted red by flesh and blood. Lin Luoran can't see the inside of the 8 light curtains. At this bloody moment, Lin Luoran suddenly feels ridiculously lucky, the inhibition in her space is so gentle and kind. Lin Luoran's complaint about not being able to enter the cabin also vanishes instantly. The saintess naturally notices that Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing have escaped. Maybe as she said, Lin Luoran and Wen Guanjing are just chi trainers in her eyes. Therefore, the saintess doesn't catch them. Lin Luoran is attentive. She has already noticed that the saintess calls them chi trainers. Lin Luoran has heard this title once. It is the Venerable who almost killed her and made White Fairy's remnant soul fall into a deep sleep under the lonely mountain in the secret land. White Fairy said that it was a primitive monster. Lin Luoran is familiar with the primitive land. When she was in a coma after saving Baojia, she saw the back of the man in robe. His background is the primitive land with powerful strange beasts. Monsters are not terrible. For example, Goldie, the Scorpion King, and the cyan little fox can all be called monsters to some extent. However, White Fairy, who once had the personal ability of the late gathering vitality period, calls them grand monsters. This is what is really terrible. After the primeval age, no one called Huaxia cultivators, chi trainers, anymore. They were all called cultivators or cultivators. If this saintess was a cultivator, she would not call them chi trainers. It could be seen that the saintess had a very long history. However, she acts as if she knows cyan little fox, which is too contradictory. Do you know her, little fox? Lin Luoran lowers her head and comforts the cyan little fox which has not recovered from its fear. The little fox shakes its head like a rattle. If cyan little fox really doesn't know her, then this saintess must have a long history. It seems that she has something to do with cyan little fox or its ancestors. However, this is not important. It seems that the saintess is going to let go of these 2 chi trainers. For Lin Luoran, the most important thing is that the saintess has the same face as Baojia. She is not Baojia, but this body is probably Baojia's. Thinking of this possibility, Lin Luoran can't leave in peace. The saintess said that this is a sacrifice. Usually, people will sacrifice only when they get some power that doesn't belong to them. If these tens of thousands of animals were the so-called sacrificial offerings, then where did the jade stairs leading to? Lin Luoran looks up at the starry sky and thinks of the mural they are looking for. The rainbow-colored halo, the desert, and the cultivators who disappeared in the halo. If 1,000 years ago, the nascent soul cultivators used this method of sacrificing tens of thousands of animals to disappear from Earth, this possibility wasn't impossible. She heard it clearly. The saintess once said that she would take the cyan little fox with her. After the cyan little fox didn't appreciate it, the saintess became angry out of shame, as if she had given the cyan little fox a great opportunity, but the cyan little fox refused to accept it. It was a slap in the face for the kind saintess who was hard to come by. Leave. What would be considered a gargantuan opportunity? Would it be like a secret realm? For cultivators, a heavenly paradise devoid of spiritual energy? Or would it simply be leaving Earth? Oh, in novels, they preferred to refer to such situations as realms. However, after 1,000 years, no cultivators in the level of gathering vitality appeared, which means that this is a one-way journey. Lin Luoran clenches her hands. She can't let the saintess control the body that might belong to Baojia and leave. Stop. The saintess walks further and further on the jade stairs. The 8 light curtains are shrinking and killing more and more animals. Lin Luoran can't stand it anymore. In the eyes of the world of cultivation, cultivators in the level of laying foundation may not be able to defeat the saintess. However, Lin Luoran calls out the sword of bright stubbornly. The phoenix-headed flying sword is shining in Lin Luoran's hand. The sword of bright is a grade 5 flying sword. It is beautiful and powerful. However, compared with the 8 light curtains, its light is almost insignificant. Under the noble and mysterious jade stairs, Lin Luoran and the sword of bright in her hand are as insignificant as an overconfident ant under a big tree. The saintess standing on the stairs turns around. Her narrow eyes are very indifferent, but she sneers contemptuously. The local chi trainers nowadays are so ridiculous. For example, the owner of this body, the rookie Baojia, threatened her when the holy relic came. If anyone dares to hurt her friends, she will destroy this body. The saintess feels ridiculous. How can a rookie who just stepped into the level of training chi bargain with her? The saintess doesn't even wait for the saintess to finish her words. She destroys the tiny spiritual mind of this body. The local people never understand the magical use of spirit power. They have the spiritual mind, but they can't use it properly. It is so sad. However, the local people with low personal ability soon bring trouble to the saintess. These 2 chi trainers seem to be the friends she mentioned. When the saintess hit the male chi trainer away, she felt a sense of blockage in her body. At that time, she thought it was because she hasn't adapted to the new body, so she didn't pay much attention to it. As for the female chi trainer, the saintess feels that she is much stronger than this body. She feels sorry that she didn't discover this better body. The saintess expresses her regret that she can't have it, so she will destroy it. The attack on Lin Luoran is not just to destroy her right hand. It was a casual strike, but it was a sure kill strike. However, this time, the saintess feels a strong resistance from her body. The resistance of her body to attack her friends almost makes the saintess feel that she is about to lose control of this body at that moment. Therefore, the attack ends with the saintess' temporary compromise. She only hurts the right hand of the female chi trainer. But now, the chi trainer whom she has forgiven is shouting arrogantly. The saintess narrows her eyes. Does she want to die? Large beads of sweat run down from Lin Luoran's forehead. In the eyes of the saintess, Lin Luoran feels the stinging pain in her spiritual mind and the omnipresent pressure around her. Just one look makes her feel heavy. This saintess seems to be the culprit who suppresses their spiritual minds. Lin Luoran grits her teeth. She certainly knows how powerful the saintess is. She has a feeling that she can't even defeat the weird animal with 4 burning hooves, let alone the saintess. If the animal is a big tree, then she is a tiny machi. Machi will always be laughed at when it tries to shake a big tree. However, Lin Luoran is not afraid of being laughed at. Lin Luoran is not talented, but she is definitely brave. She is usually calm. However, When her reverse scale is touched, she will become hot-blooded. Hot-blooded means that someone is going to bleed, but Lin Luoran is not afraid. Therefore, in the Saintess' sarcastic smile, when Guanjing's worry, and Cyan Little Fox's disbelief, Lin Luoran flies up to the sky on her flying sword like a sharp arrow, rushing to the jade platform. She flies over the light curtain at an amazing speed. The light of the bright sword surges. This is the third move of the spell, Auspicious Snow. Auspicious Snow is a very beautiful name. Just like Frost's Fall, the more beautiful a name is, the more unpredictable its power will be. The Saintess doesn't care about Lin Luoran's attack at all. Even though Lin Luoran's sword move is amazing, the gap between them is like an adult and a child. No matter how well a child imitates the moves of Ultraman on TV and yells, "Monster, I will destroy you," and then rushes to the adult, no adult will care about such an attack. Four-Hoof Fire Beast rushes to stop Lin Luoran. When it is about to kill Lin Luoran with one move, it finds that it has no strength to turn its neck and its whole body is frozen. Most of the body of Four-Hoof Fire Beast is frozen by the snow, which slows down its movement. There are only 4 burning hooves on the beast's body. The rest of its body is covered by snow and it can't move. This is the hot Kalahari Desert. How can there be snow? This is Auspicious Snow, the spell with a beautiful name but great power. Seeing that the ice on the Four-Hoof Fire Beast's neck is cracking, Lin Luoran slashes down with her sword. The bright sword hits on the horn of the Four-Hoof Fire Beast, making a clanging sound. The horn of the Four-Hoof Fire Beast is so hard that the bright sword can't hurt it. After being shaken off, the bright sword only scratches the skin on the Four-Hoof Fire Beast's neck. The Saintess doesn't expect that her beloved beast will suffer. She is furious. Regardless of her body's instinct, she covers Lin Luoran with her spirit power. Before Lin Luoran can feel the joy of winning, she is thrown down by the Saintess. Down there, of course, is the light that will kill Lin Luoran. Sister Lin. When Guanjing's eyes turn red, he flies up on his sword. He is anxious, but his flying sword is not good at speed. What should I do? The Cyan Little Fox seems to see Lin Luoran's poor ending. It closes its eyes anxiously. When Lin Luoran is about to hit the light curtain, a rag suddenly flies out from a dark corner and wraps her up. Chapter 197. Lin Luoran feels something around her waist. Her limbs are sore and powerless as if they have been run over by a wheel. She looks down and finds a piece of dirty cloth wrapping around her. Lin Luoran is pulled to the sand and narrowly escapes. She never knows that there is fog in the desert. The cloth retracts. Lin Luoran can't see clearly in the dark. She doesn't know who saved her. When Guanjing moans in the air, he wants to save Lin Luoran, but it is too late. He is attacked by the wounded fire beast. He is about to fall into the light curtain like Lin Luoran. The dirty cloth catches when Guanjing and takes him to Lin Luoran. The cloth disappears again. When Guanjing is obviously seriously injured by this unexpected attack. There is blood on his lips and he passes out. The Cyan Little Fox shakes him. It is very upset. It doesn't understand why this human cultivator is always in a coma. The Saintess's attention was finally attracted by the cloth strip's action twice. The light curtain stopped temporarily and no longer shrunk inwards. Some of the animals were able to escape death. However, the dead animals and creatures can never come back to life. Their blood and flesh are all over the 8 light curtains. The blood and flesh are transformed into a kind of energy that Lin Luoran can't understand. The energy is transferred to the jade stairs. What a sneaky guy. The Saintess stops walking. She stops and stares at the direction Lin Luoran is looking at. The dirty cloth comes from the fog. There is a man's laughter in the fog. The road to heaven is built with bones. After so many years, you are still the same. Lin Luoran checks Wen Guanjing. She is relieved when she is sure that he only fainted because of the vibration of his blood and chi. The mysterious person who saved them is a man. Lin Luoran is sure. However, why does the man's laughter sound crazy? Unlike Lin Luoran, the saintess doesn't look good. It has been so many years. So, which old friend of mine is joking with me? The saintess doesn't look good when she thinks that the man might be an old friend of hers. In her memory, there is no old friend whom she has a good relationship with. Someone who can call someone like that must be an enemy. That person stopped hiding and slowly walked out of the thick fog. Without the glory of a hero, the one who saved Lin Luoran is obviously not a prince riding a white horse. He is just a Taoist in a dirty Taoist robe. His face seems to be covered with stains, and there is a small wooden stick in his hair bun. He seems to be in his 50s, but because of his slovenly appearance, he looks much older. Lin Luoran feels that the man looks familiar, but she is sure that she has never seen such a Taoist before. The saintess has the same feeling as her. The saintess doesn't know this dirty and ragged Taoist priest at all, so how can he be an old friend? However, how does he know that this is a road to heaven? The more I live, the more timid I become. The holy maiden muttered to herself, flicked her sleeves, and turned around. The Taoist is crazy and ignores Lin Luoran. He claps his hands and laughs. Who is the most pitiful person in the world? The Yellow Emperor is the most pitiful person. He doesn't even know that his daughter has been replaced. Who is the most pitiful person in the world? Chi Yu is the most pitiful person. Holy girl of Jiuli. She is so funny. Lin Luoran is confused by the Taoist's words. She only knows the keywords Yellow Emperor, Chi Yu, and Holy Girl of Jiuli. The Yellow Emperor and Chi Yu are mythical figures in ancient times. Lin Luoran has certainly heard of them. Speaking of the Jiuli tribe, most people may not know about it. However, when it comes to Chi Yu, many people know about the Battle of Zhulu, and Chi Yu is the leader of the Jiuli tribe. Lin Luoran thinks of these legends in Huaxia mythology. It sounds like the saintess has something to do with these mythical figures in ancient times. However, Lin Luoran only knows that the daughter of the Yellow Emperor is called Ba. There is no Holy Girl of Jiuli. What was going on? Were these crazy Taoists talking nonsense? Or had these myths and legends been covered up after thousands of years? Hearing this, the saintess trembles slightly. Her eyes, which are exactly the same as Baojia's, are narrow and beautiful. There is surprise and coldness in them. No matter who you are, you will die today. The saintess rode on the four-hoof fire beast and descended. Provoked by this crazy Taoist, she gave up climbing the jade stairs that she had been climbing for a long time and landed in the desert. At such a close distance, the saintess's face is so beautiful. She looks exactly the same as Baojia. Thinking of Baojia, Lin Luoran pauses for a moment. She looks at the crazy Taoist and finally realizes why he looks so familiar. She has heard this description of a crazy Taoist from Commander Qin so many times. How can she not be impressed? Yes, who else will come to save them except for this crazy Taoist who is related to Baojia by blood? He is still alive. Lin Luoran suddenly remembers that this person is probably an elder of Commander Qin's grandmother. A cultivator in the level of laying foundation can live up to 200 years. Does this mean that he has at least bearing essence? There are cultivators in the level of bearing essence on the earth. Lin Luoran's pupils shrink. She thinks of the saintess who has something to do with ancient times. There are not only cultivators in the level of bearing essence, but also cultivators in the level of bearing essence. The saintess has started to attack the crazy Taoist. It is not a spell or a spell of sword. It is a spiritual attack. Lin Luoran feels a tingling pain in her head. The four-hoof fire beast also rushes up. Obviously, it wants to bully Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran has been irritated by the saintess who is regarded as a nonentity by everyone except herself. Seeing the four-hoof fire beast, Lin Luoran slashes the beast with the bright sword without mercy. As soon as the crazy Taoist moves, he can't hide his momentum. Lin Luoran feels that he is indeed more than the level of laying foundation. However, the strange thing is that he is not as unpredictable as the Saintess, and he is not afraid of her spiritual attack. Who are you? The Saintess's voice is sharp. She is angry because her attack has failed. The crazy Taoist laughs while dodging. I'm here to send you away. But you have to leave this body. The Saintess suddenly stopped and smiled. She was indescribably beautiful and moving. It's her honor to be able to go with this Saintess. How can the earth compare to the place I want to go? Her voice is so quiet and her smile is so dignified. At this moment, she is in line with the Saintess that she calls herself. Lin Luoran glances at her and agrees with her. If this is really Baojia, it is a good choice for her to go with her. The four-hoof fire beast notices that Lin Luoran is absent-minded and suddenly roars like thunder. Lin Luoran wakes up, but she is hurt by the roar of the four-hoof fire beast. The Taoist screams, "You traitorous Kuei ox! The Saintess of the Jiuli tribe kicked you 3 times, and you have forgotten who you used to be." The Taoist scolds angrily. Obviously, he is not fooled by the Saintess. After scolding the Kuei ox, he scolds the Saintess, "I am just crazy, but I am not stupid. What do you mean by going to a better place? This body is so weak that it will only be torn apart by the cracks in space. What's the use of taking her body? Give it back, and I will let you go." Lin Luoran is dizzy. The inherent myth system of Huaxia is completely subverted tonight. She knows about the Kuei ox. It is said that the Yellow Emperor, under the instruction of the Fairy of the Ninth Heaven, captured the Kuei ox, which lives in the Liubo mountain in the East Sea. It looks like a bull, can walk on 1 foot, and can enter and exit the water like wind and rain. Its eyes are as bright as the sun and the moon, and its voice is as loud as thunder. The Yellow Emperor skinned it and made it into a kind of drum to fight against Chiyu. The Kuei ox in front of her has a powerful roar like thunder. It has a single horn and a body like a bull, but it has 4 feet. It is both similar and different from the legend. Lin Luoran doesn't understand the word traitor. She doesn't care about the Saintess or the beast. She only knows that the body is Baojia's. Is Baojia still alive? Lin Luoran doesn't know. However, even if she is dead, she can't let Baojia be torn apart by the cracks in space. Lin Luoran clenches her fists and has an impulse to tear the Saintess into pieces. The Saintess stares at the crazy Taoist. The magic circle has been opened. "I can give up this body. But who are you? How dare you command me?" She suddenly laughs as if she has gone crazy. "You damn barbarians! How dare you try to command the noble Saintess? The Yellow Emperor, Chiyu, and even you, a cultivator of Qi, are so arrogant. It seems that time has made you forget how powerful I am." Lin Luoran doesn't understand why the Saintess calls them barbarians. However, after the Saintess vents her anger, she waves her hands and the desert under her feet becomes hotter. The yellow sand moves away and a stream of lava spurts out. The crazy Taoist remains unmoved. Lin Luoran picks up Cyan Little Fox and Wen Guanjing, who is in a coma. Lin Luoran is familiar with the myth system. She thinks of the desert, the lava, the Yellow Emperor, Chiyu, and other keywords. If she still doesn't know who this ghost Saintess is, she will be a disgrace to the Huaxia people. The problem is, since she is the daughter of the Yellow Emperor, why does she call them barbarians? Lin Luoran looks at the Kuei ox vigilantly. The lava is getting closer and closer. Lin Luoran must be ready to run. There are 2 people and 1 beast standing on the yellow sand. The lava is rolling, but the crazy Taoist is not afraid at all. Lin Luoran doesn't know what he is relying on. Soon, Lin Luoran knows why the crazy Taoist is so confident. Crack! A slight sound comes from the jade stairs. The seemingly solid jade stairs shake while the crazy Taoist is clapping his hands. Lin Luoran is in disbelief, and the saintess is furious. Then, it collapses. That's right. Not only the jade stairs collapse, but also the light curtain disappears. Half of the dead animals are standing in the pool of blood. They can't believe that they can escape so suddenly. With the sound of the polar axis turning, the plane sinks as it came. In an instant, there are only a few people, spreading lava, and broken jade on the desert. The desert becomes endless yellow sand again. The heavenly road paved with thousands of skeletons was destroyed just like that. The saintess finally can't stand it anymore. She screams to the sky. The lava is rolling. She finally goes crazy. Chapter 198. The broken jade stairs collapse in the desert and are soon buried by the yellow sand. It used to be sacred, but now it is just a pile of broken jade. The sky is full of twinkling stars. Lin Luoran doesn't know if it is her illusion or because of the road to heaven that existed a moment ago. Lin Luoran always feels that the starry sky tonight is so bright that she can't look at it directly. However, the problem at hand is how to get Baojia's body back. The lava is rolling and the fire beast is roaring. The saintess who has been ignoring Lin Luoran and others is finally furious. No one knows how many years she has waited to open the road to heaven. Tonight, the jade stairs have collapsed. If she wants to leave this place, maybe it will be another 1,000 years. However, in the eyes of the crazy Taoist, maybe the saintess doesn't have another 1,000 years. At this moment, they have reached a consensus: kill each other. This is not a battle that Lin Luoran can intervene in. As a cultivator in the level of laying foundation, she knows herself very well. Since she has guessed that the saintess might be the legendary Hanba and she has seen the saintess' ability to control the lava, Lin Luoran can only hide like a thief and wait for the critical moment to help the crazy Taoist to get Baojia's body back. Lava is everywhere. The crazy Taoist is still the same. He claps his hands and stomps his feet from time to time and talks nonsense. He doesn't fight back at all. Lin Luoran is worried. She can't help but wonder if he has really gone crazy after so many years. The four-hoof fire beast roars. In the lava all over the sky, the crazy Taoist finally moves. He throws out the dirty cloth and wraps it around the horn of the Kuei cow. Lin Luoran almost falls off the flying sword. The dirty strip of cloth is so coquettish that it has been stealing the limelight tonight. However, it is just a rag. How can it deal with the Kuei cow, which doesn't look powerful but is still an ancient beast? Obviously, Lin Luoran is not the only one who has doubts. The saintess shows a scornful and cruel smile. The crazy Taoist is entangled by the Kuei cow. She waves her hand and the lava pours to the crazy Taoist. The Kuei ox keeps struggling, but the cloth is not broken. The man and the beast are in a stalemate. The crazy Taoist has nowhere to run. The lava is pouring down from above. Lin Luoran is worried. The crazy Taoist is in the level of bearing essence. Even she and Wen Guanjing can resist the lava for a while. The crazy Taoist must be prepared. In the saintess's laughter and Lin Luoran's worry, the lava finally falls to the ground. The crazy Taoist looks tired. What made everyone's jaws drop was that Kuei ox. It was still struggling, but it was indeed bound by the rag. With a thunderous roar, the Kuei ox obviously couldn't accept this fact. It transformed into its original body in the lava and suddenly grew to the height of a building. Not to mention the crazy Taoist, even all the people present were like hills in front of the transformed Kuei ox. A dirty and torn strip of cloth was wrapped around the huge horn. Due to the disparity in size, it was stretched thin and seemed to be on the verge of breaking. But it didn't budge. The scene was extremely comical, and no one could laugh at it. Lin Luoran couldn't help but exclaim. She was so shocked by the rag that she couldn't calm down. The saintess finally started to take off the rag. It was extremely dirty, smelly, and had no reiki at all. This was the saintess's conclusion after a glance. The problem was that the Kuei ox was bound by such a rag, so the saintess couldn't take it lightly. The Kuei ox revealed its original body. The air coming out of its nose was extremely hot. The drum made of its skin could be heard hundreds of miles away, which boosted the morale of the troops of the Yellow Emperor. Therefore, the lava naturally couldn't hurt it. But now, it was wriggling under a piece of torn cloth. Just thinking about it was absurd. Maybe because the scene was so weird, Lin Luoran and the saintess both forgot that when the lava was poured on the crazy Taoist, there was no flash of any reiki treasure. The crazy Taoist just stood in the rolling lava, unharmed. The red lava was rolling. Because the light was too bright, the stains on the crazy Taoist's blue Taoist robe became more obvious. He really didn't look like a master at all. He had the Kuei ox under control. However, at this time, the crazy Taoist went crazy again. He took off the rag. The Kuei ox didn't react at first, but soon it became angry and wanted to take revenge for being bound. The horn of the Kuei ox was shining and stiff. It was about to poke the crazy Taoist. The crazy Taoist raised his right hand holding the rag. He is no longer tying her up, but whipping her. The moment the crazy Taoist raises the cloth, his temperament changes. He is no longer crazy or stupid. At this moment, he is so serious that people can even ignore the greasy Taoist robe he is wearing. Pa! The rag hit the Kuei ox. The Kuei ox stopped the first time, and so did the saintess. The former couldn't move, and the latter felt that this scene was a bit familiar. Pa! The rag broke when it hit the Kuei ox for the second time. Although it was still dirty and smelly, no one dared to look down on it anymore. Because the Kuei ox shrank at a speed visible to the naked eye after being whipped 3 times. Pa! 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 The crazy Taoist whipped several times. The enlarged body of the Kuei ox shrank again and again. What's more, the spirit of the Kuei ox seemed to be taken away by the rag. The Kuei ox was not as arrogant as before. Lin Luoran hoped that the crazy Taoist would whip it a few more times to get rid of this ancient beast. However, the saintess screamed. Her sharp voice almost broke Lin Luoran's eardrum. Whip! How could the whip be in the hands of a chi trainer? Who are you? The crazy Taoist ignored her and continued to whip it a few more times. The Kuei ox became even smaller. It was as small as a rabbit in the underground world. It was not as powerful as before. Lin Luoran stares at the crazy Taoist's rags and swallows. Under the dirty appearance, there was unimaginable power. The saintess called it whip. What kind of being could be called a god? This may be an exaggeration, but this rag is obviously much better than Li Shi'er's fishing line magic weapon, bundling rope, even though it doesn't look good. At least, Lin Luoran noticed that the saintess's face changed. She was angry and dignified. The saintess with long hair floated in the air. Under her feet was rolling lava. In the distance, the sky was full of yellow sand and rolling sand dunes. The starry sky was the background. Looking at her from afar, the saintess really did have the surreal feeling of a deity descending to the mortal world. However, the crazy Taoist held the whip, which looked like a rag, and whipped the Kuei ox several times. It seemed that the Kuei ox was pretending to be weak. Lin Luoran felt that the ancestor of Baojia was covered with the halo of the protagonist of the novel. The saintess became serious and then she sneered, I was almost fooled by you. I once saw the whip being destroyed. How could it be in the hands of a chi trainer? The saintess was sure that the Kuei ox had been sleeping for so many years that it became useless. The weather was still the same tonight. If she could get rid of the chi trainer, the Kuei ox might be able to rebuild the ladder of heaven. The crazy Taoist burst into laughter. So what? It is more than enough to whip a fake saintess like you. Whip to whip the fake saintess. Lin Luoran praised in her heart. Even though her personal ability was not high, she was still very proud. Why couldn't she fight against the fake saintess? Lin Luoran put the cyan little fox and Wen Guanjing on the sand dune far away and joined the battle on her sword. The saintess raised her eyebrows. At that moment, she felt so much like Baojia. In fact, I am quite curious. How can you be so courageous with your personal ability? As the saintess spoke, she attacked Lin Luoran with a spirit thorn. Even though Lin Luoran was prepared, she still almost fell from the flying sword because of the pain. Lin Luoran's face turned pale and she said stubbornly, "Get out of my friend's body, or I will kill you." Because of the seriousness of the word, the saintess finally moved her eyes away. For the first time, she looked at Lin Luoran seriously. With her personal ability, her spiritual power was not bad. It was a pity that she didn't know how to use it properly. The flying sword was not bad. It should be the work of a high-level Qi trainer. Although he was a native of a poor galaxy, the saintess had to admit that the cultivation civilization of Huaxia had developed to a frightening level. Fortunately, everything had been destroyed. The female cultivator in front of her had a low personal ability. Even though she had a good weapon, she couldn't make full use of it. What scared the saintess was the whip in the crazy Taoist's hand. No one knew better than her just how powerful the real god-striking whip was, especially to a high-level race like her. Fortunately, the whip in the crazy Taoist's hand was not real. Damn it! Why didn't the lava work on the crazy Taoist? The saintess realized that the crazy Taoist was safe and sound. She had a bad feeling. It was the same auspicious snow. Wherever the bright sword went, the snow and the lava collided fiercely. The annoying heat was swept away and snow began to fall in the air. Although the saintess was disdainful of Lin Luoran's personal ability, her current body couldn't withstand the attack of the flying sword. Looking at the white sword which was full of killing intent, the saintess sneered. These earth cultivators were always so hypocritical. They said that it was their friend's body and they had to get it back, but at the same time, they mercilessly attacked this body with the fiercest sword move. The saintess sneered and stood in the air without dodging. She didn't mind giving up this body. The sword light was cold. Lin Luoran shook her wrist and the bright sword brushed past the saintess's cheek, adding a small snowflake to her eyebrow. She couldn't do it in the end? The saintess moved her fingers. If she couldn't do it in the fight, she had to die. Her fingers were like hooks. She wanted to tear Lin Luoran apart with the strength of her fingers. A light piece of cloth flew over and whipped her back. The saintess staggered and almost fell into the lava. In a hurry, she saw the smile in the eyes of the hateful female Qi trainer. The whip almost whipped her out of this body. Damn it, it was the real whip. The saintess suspected that this was a well-prepared trap. The crazy Taoist didn't care about her and whipped her again. Chapter 199. Pitter-patter, the crazy Taoist lashes several times. The saintess has no way to escape. She can only watch the rag falling on her body. Lin Luoran notices that the rag makes a different sound from when it was whipping the Kuei cow. Therefore, the saintess doesn't become smaller. She just panics a little. As the crazy Taoist lashes, a ball of light comes out of Baojia's forehead and runs into the ground. The lava disappears with the light. The crazy Taoist chases after Baojia. Lin Luoran catches Baojia who falls to the ground. Baojia's eyes are closed and she looks peaceful. When Lin Luoran holds her wrist, she can still feel her pulse. Fortunately, Baojia is still alive. As long as she is alive, there is hope. Lin Luoran is relieved. The sand dunes soon cover the traces left by the lava. If it weren't for the broken jade stairs and the dispirited Kuei cow, Lin Luoran would think that she is dreaming. Come to think of it, what happened tonight? A woman who claims to be the saintess, probably Hanba, the daughter of the Yellow Emperor, occupied Baojia's body in a way similar to possession. She tried to climb the jade stairs and leave the earth. Lin Luoran can't help but look aside. The broken jade is still lying in the desert and most of it has been covered by the yellow sand. Even though it was huge in size, it was much smaller than when it was floating in the air. It is obviously refined. Lin Luoran doesn't know how the crazy Taoist destroyed it. After all, Lin Luoran used to work for Lu's family and knows more about jade than ordinary people. However, she still can't recognize this kind of jade, including the materials on cultivation given to her by White Fairy. It is milky white on the outside, but there is cyan light inside. Well, this color is familiar. Lin Luoran looks at the cyan little fox. The little fox is pretending to be silly. Lin Luoran knows that the cunning little fox won't say anything even if it knows something, so she has to give up the idea. Lin Luoran puts her hand on the broken jade. She wants to feel the material of the jade. However, after a series of cracking sounds, the broken jade starts to roll on its own. Lin Luoran thinks that something has changed again. She is startled and looks at the Kuei cow alertly. The Kuei cow is obviously still dispirited and looks very innocent. The broken jades roll on their own and turn back into jade stairs. Lin takes a step back and the jade stairs shrink again and again. They become a model of stairs and fly towards Lin. Lin Luoran can't help but open her hands. The mini jade stairs fall into her hands, shining with a kind of crystal beauty. It was just that it was full of cracks, which somewhat destroyed the harmony. The flight of stairs only had 9 steps in total. When he thought about its enlarged appearance, towering into the heavens, he didn't know who it was that used great divine ability to refine it. Lin Luoran can't help but look at the jade stairs carefully. She finds that there are some tiny light spots on the back of the stairs, just like the stars in the sky. A big one is surrounded by several smaller ones. Lin Luoran is fascinated by them. The more he looked at it, the more familiar it seemed. If these light spots can rotate along the orbit. Lin Luoran looks up at the sky full of stars. Solar system. These light spots are the solar system. Something in the stairs seems to be sucking in Lin Luoran's spiritual mind. In the endless void, a vast starry sky unfolds in front of her. Some are big and some are small. The nearest one is a blue planet, like a glass marble, which is particularly conspicuous in the dark void. Water swamp covers 70% of the area. Lin Luoran is so familiar that she can almost recognize it as the Earth at a glance. In addition, she immediately finds the nearest star. With a thought, the star zooms in front of her as if it is pulled in front of her. The ground is full of potholes. Although she can't touch it directly, Lin Luoran can feel the feeling of time being blown by the wind. Is this the moon? Where is the moon? The dark sky is dotted with countless stars, which makes people want to explore and linger. It is really beautiful. Lin Luoran unconsciously wants to see another star, but she hears a shout in her ears. Wake up! Along with this shout, there is a thunderous cry of the Kuei cow. Lin Luoran comes back to her senses. Her eyes are confused. After a while, she can see clearly that it is the crazy Taoist standing in front of her. Thinking of what happened before, she is suddenly shocked. The crazy Taoist is a little tired. He doesn't know how the light of the saintess is doing. Seeing that Lin Luoran has woken up, he says in a low voice, "How dare you? You have just laid foundation. How dare you explore the star atlas? If I had come out a little later, you would have been lost in the starry sky and could never find your way back." Was the first thing he saw a star chart? This is just the stars on the first step. If she had looked at the stars on the second step at the beginning, something bad would have happened before the crazy Taoist came out. Lin Luoran feels sad. Because of the crazy Taoist, she doesn't dare to steal such a treasure. She hurries to give the jade stairs to him. The crazy Taoist looks at it with a trace of craziness and a trace of desire. Maybe because of his strong mind, he finally refuses Lin Luoran's intention. Put it away. It is a thank you for helping this girl enter the Tao. The crazy Taoist is willing to give away such a precious treasure. It shows how much he values this descendant of his. Thinking of her friend's condition, Lin Luoran is worried and takes Baojia in her arms. Master, Baojia. Lin Luoran's eyes turn red. She did this out of kindness. If she didn't want Baojia to go out and relax, she wouldn't have taken her to Africa. How could this happen? The crazy Taoist checks and seems to be relieved. Don't worry. She won't die. Lin Luoran sniffles and smiles through tears. Master, really? When will she wake up? It's just that she can't die. When did I say that she would wake up? Although the fake saintess can't hurt her because of her bloodline, her cultivation is low and her ocean of consciousness has just been formed. Now that she has been brutally invaded, she is already fragmented. If we wake her up now, she will be like a newborn, with a blank mind. The crazy Taoist seems to be fine. Only Lin Luoran, who is listening, feels as if she has been hit hard. She says bitterly, "What do you mean by a blank mind?" The crazy Taoist rolls his eyes to cover up his tiredness. To be clear, if we wake her up now, she will become a fool. Fool. Lin Luoran pinches her palm. She can't help crying. Baojia is smart and proud. She won't allow herself to become a fool even if she dies. Lin Luoran feels that thousands of ants named regret are gnawing her heart. She has endless resentment but nowhere to vent it. She wants to tear the saintess into pieces. Do you want to take revenge on the fake saintess? Lin Luoran's thoughts are written on her face. The crazy Taoist can't see it. Yes. No need. I have sealed her again. She won't be able to come out again in less than 1,000 years. Sealed. The crazy Taoist is only in the level of bearing essence. Even with the holy whip, can he really seal an ancient figure like Hanba? Lin Luoran knows it's not good to doubt someone's ability. She is just curious. This matter happened a long time ago. On account that you once saved this girl's life and guided her into the Tao, I can tell you something. The crazy Taoist is obviously not the kind of person who talks incoherently. It seems that he is not pretending to be crazy. Lin Luoran doesn't know what stimulated him to make a cultivator in the level of bearing essence crazy. Lin Luoran sighs secretly. It takes Lin Luoran a long time to figure out what he is talking about. The story could be traced back to the ancient times. In the beginning, the Yellow Emperor and Qi Yu were the leaders of two tribes that did not have any conflict with each other. Later, the Yellow Emperor had a daughter named Hanba. This girl was blessed by the heavens and was born with the ability to control fire. Even in the ancient times, where everyone was known as the divine people and everyone had some supernatural abilities, this was still rare. So the Yellow Emperor doted on her. As Hanba grew up, she became friends with Qi Yu of the Jiuli tribe. Because of her kindness, she helped the tribe a lot. She was elected as the saintess as an outsider. Lin Luoran feels that Hanba and Qi Yu are in love with each other. Marrying his daughter to the leader of the Jiuli tribe is like a marriage between business families. It is good for both sides. Naturally, the Yellow Emperor is happy about the marriage. One day, Hanba came back from the mountains. Since then, her temperament changed. She not only broke the promise of marriage but also started a war between the two tribes. The war gradually spread between the two tribes. The resources of the ancient times were exhausted. Then, the war gradually settled down. Later, when he calmed down and thought about why they started the war in the first place, he felt that there was something wrong with the cold and cruel Hanba. But at that time, neither the Yellow Emperor nor Qi Yu could stop the war until Qi Yu died. Lin Luoran doesn't know what happened between Hitorigami and Qi Yu. The crazy Taoist didn't tell her anything either. He only mentioned that the underground world was built by Chiyu for Hitorigami. This is the fake Hitorigami's preparation to return to where she came from. Of course, the Yellow Emperor is not the final winner in the war between the tribes. Neither is Chiyu. Hanba is the winner. Lin Luoran doesn't understand what he means. The crazy Taoist only says one sentence: she used to be the saintess of the Jiuli tribe. She used to be called Hanba. She also used to be the favorite concubine of the feudal lords. She used to be called Baosi and Daji. This woman participated in the course of history and promoted the change of dynasties behind the scenes. According to the crazy Taoist, the decline of the cultivation civilization on the earth has something to do with the fake saintess. One person can influence the civilization of a planet. If Lin Luoran didn't experience the blood sacrifice and the road to heaven tonight, she would never believe it. Until now, the crazy Taoist is still not sure who the fake saintess is and where she comes from. However, he is sure that she is obviously not from the earth. Lin Luoran feels like she is listening to a science fiction story. However, the reason why the crazy Taoist can seal the spiritual body of the fake saintess when he is only at the level of bearing essence is his identity. He is the last direct descendant of the Jiuli tribe. Since the Han dynasty, Qi trainers have flourished again because the fake saintess is no longer involved in the course of history. She was sealed in the Kalahari Desert by the Jiuli tribe at the cost of the whole tribe. This is the underground world built by the Jiuli tribe. Lin Luoran gasps when she hears that the whole tribe is sacrificed. What kind of hatred does it take to make such a decision? The crazy Taoist is the only direct descendant of the Jiuli tribe. Baojia can survive from the hands of the fake saintess because she has the bloodline of the Jiuli tribe. However, no matter how powerful the bloodline of the Jiuli tribe is, it can't compare to Baojia's current situation. Chapter 200. The existence of the word chasm was completely out of practical necessity. For example, no matter how smart a first grader is, he can't discuss theories like quantum mechanics with scholars. Another example is the crazy Taoist who teaches Lin Luoran the ancient secrets on a whim in the hot night wind of the desert. Even though he has the blood of the Jiuli tribe and his personal ability is at the level of bearing essence, he can't understand the interstellar signal transmission. For the crazy Taoist and Lin Luoran, the extension and application of spirit power is a huge gap. Over the long years, cultivators cultivated their sea of consciousness to become bigger and bigger, but they forgot the original function of the sea. Therefore, under the starry sky, the jade stairs full of cracks emits a short spiritual wave. Of course, the two of them don't notice it. The whip shakes a bit. Because the spiritual wave is too small, it doesn't do anything else. No matter how powerful an artifact is, if it is held by a cultivator at the level of bearing essence, it can't be fully used. For example, the sword of bright snow is in Lin Luoran's hand, or the pearls are covered with dust. When there is no one in the desert, a star twinkles in the sky like a naughty child. Then everything is quiet again. The wind and sand in the desert doesn't make Lin Luoran's skin worse. Compared to his unchanging appearance, the shock and worry in his heart were the greatest. Of course, Lin Luoran won't tell her parents about Baojia's current situation. She only tells them that Baojia met a senior cultivator in the family and will cultivate with him for a while. Mr. Lin says it is a lucky chance to comfort his mother who is reluctant to leave Baojia. Only Lin Luoran knows what kind of state Baojia is in after the crazy Taoist takes her away. Before the crazy Taoist leaves, he also tells her several ways to cure Baojia. All of them are treasures that Lin Luoran can't solve even with her space. For example, the soul wood. It is said that the last piece appeared in the Tang dynasty, before the disappearance of cultivators of gathering vitality. Since then, the world of cultivation has been declining. This kind of treasure is even less likely to appear. Lin Luoran thinks that she can figure out the mystery of the disappearance of cultivators of gathering vitality. However, the crazy Taoist obviously can't tell her what happened thousands of years ago because he knows the ancient secret. The crazy Taoist is not sure whether this is a conspiracy set up by the fake saintess many years ago, which led to the mysterious disappearance of the last masters of Huaxia. Perhaps the ancestors saw the loss of Earth's spiritual energy and went to another planet or space in order to open up a new place for cultivation. As for why there was no trace of them after 1,000 years, no one could say for sure whether they couldn't come back or were unwilling to come back. Lin Luoran touches the fox's soft ears and wakes up from her thoughts. Senior sister, your master appeared in the end? Wen Guanjing has heard the story several times, but he still looks doubtful. If it were not Lin Luoran, he would have left in a huff. Lin Luoran tells Wen about what happened. She successfully diverts Wen's attention by talking about ancient beasts like the Kuei ox. She has said what she has to say. As for what she shouldn't, she doesn't say anything, even if it's Wen Guanjing. The news that there is a senior cultivator in the level of bearing essence in Huaxia is enough to make Huizhu and others speechless for a long time. With Lin Luoran's misleading words, it is not difficult for Wen Guanjing to say that the senior cultivator in the level of bearing essence is her master. Lin Luoran feels a little guilty. She regards Wen Guanjing as a friend, but now she is misleading him vaguely. Maybe she has changed. She used to be tough, but now she knows how to be flexible. When can she be free and cultivate without any scruples? The underground world of the Kalahari Desert has been closed with the seal of the fake saintess. Lin Luoran has made it clear whether the sects believe it or not. Even if they find the entrance, the eruption of the lava will be irregular without the control of the fake saintess. Those who want to go treasure hunting can only pray for themselves. As for Baojia, she is taken back to the place of cultivation by the crazy Taoist. Lin Luoran doesn't know where it is, but the crazy Taoist gives her 3 paper cranes. If there is any news about the soul wood, she can inform her. The trip to the desert doesn't reveal the mystery of the disappearance of the cultivator in the level of gathering vitality. Instead, Wen Guanjing feels like he is on a roller coaster. He has the feeling of breaking through and falling in a short period of time. Fortunately, Wen Guanjing is a strong-willed person. Other people may not be able to accept such a difference. The good news is that after this incident, Wen Guanjing finally decides to temporarily let go of the affairs of the special department and go back to his family to cultivate. He can't come out until he reaches the completion of the level of training Qi. Lin Luoran is happy about this. As for whether Chen Yun, the minister of the special department, will be happy after hearing the news, it is none of her business. As for Lin Luoran, she is worried about Baojia, but she has gained something. After Wen Guanjing leaves, there is no one else in Lin's house. The cyan little fox is lazily basking in the sun. Lin Luoran summons the jade stairs and stares blankly for a while. There are countless stars engraved on the back of the stairs. With her current spiritual mind, she almost gets lost on the first step. The crazy Taoist said that this is a star atlas. If there is a star atlas, it means that someone has explored the vast starry sky above her head. Is it an interstellar civilization or a powerful cultivator? No matter which one it was enough to make one's heart beat faster. Lin Luoran sighs and puts the jade stairs back into the space. She needs to have strong self-control to stop herself from exploring the star atlas on the back of the jade stairs. There is another gain from the trip to the Kalahari Desert. She finds that there are intelligent creatures like fire phoenix and silver fish in the space. Although she can't communicate with them yet, Lin Luoran is more confident that she can enter the cabin in the future. Of course, the space has absorbed the strange fire. Now there is a circulation of airflow. It drizzles from time to time and the wind blows. The space has become more like an independent small world. Lin Luoran takes out a peach from the space and throws it to the cyan little fox. This cunning little fox eats chicken, rabbit, peaches, and vegetables. It is not picky about what it eats. It is also good at acting cute, which is a sharp contrast to Goldie, who is getting colder and colder. Mrs. Lin likes it very much. After eating the peach, the fox still wants to eat the fat koi in the bluestone fish tank. Lin Luoran grabs the fox by its neck and holds it in her arms. The cyan little fox can't get rid of Lin Luoran, so it calms down reluctantly. Half a day after when Guanjing left, the phone in Lin's house starts to ring. Master Mu asks if the Kalahari Desert really can't be developed. Lin Luoran smiles bitterly and repeats what she said to Wen Guanjing. Even if it can be developed, she doesn't want to do it. Who knows if the seal will be opened after a large number of people come in? If so, the crazy Taoist's efforts will be in vain. Therefore, Lin Luoran deliberately emphasizes the importance of the Kalahari Desert to the cultivator in bearing essence. Master Mu sighs and stops talking about it. Chen Yun of the special department is much more difficult to deal with. Although he is polite, he keeps asking Lin all kinds of questions. What he says is that he is determined to develop the Kalahari Desert. Lin Luoran sneers. If someone really wants to die, she can't stop him from doing it. These are the aftertaste of the trip to the Kalahari Desert. Lin Luoran guesses that Huizhu, who is in the later stage of laying foundation, will be the most tempted by the cultivator in bearing essence. However, she has decided not to go back to the villa in Mount Qingqing for the time being. Considering Huizhu's temperament and the fact that they almost fell out with each other last time, Lin Luoran guesses that people from the Qingqing Taoist temple probably won't come back to the R city to find her. As Luodong starts school, the focus of the Lin family will be in the city for a long time. Lin Luoran can't bear to leave Goldie alone in Mount Qingqing. She decides to let it play by itself during the day and come back to the Lin's house in the city at night. Will it disturb the citizens? That's the government's problem. Lin Luoran thinks about it naughtily. The cyan little fox in her arms suddenly raises its head and looks at the sky alertly. In the night, Goldie's wings quietly appear above the Lin's house. Lin Luoran smiles. Although there are many things to worry about, most of the time, people feel comfortable and happy. That's enough. In fact, Lin Luoran is right. Taoist Huizhu, the abbot of the Qingqing Taoist temple, has wasted 8 teleport figures since he received the news that there are still cultivators in the level of bearing essence in Huaxia. With Xiao An's personal ability, he can draw magic figures like the teleport figure. Though it is slow, it is enough for him to supply the orders of the big forces. Since he entered the middle stage of training Qi, many magic figures have been drawn by him. However, he has never received any feedback that the effect is not enough, which means that An's drawing is very good. However, today, Taoist Huizhu, who hasn't drawn low-rank magic figures for a long time, is drawing the teleport figure by himself. Drawing figures is about the integration of essence, Qi, and spirit. The combination of the person, the brush, the environment, and the movement of the figure can make a successful figure in one go. Therefore, practicing the art of drawing figures is the best way for a cultivator to calm his mind. Maybe Huizhu draws the teleport figure by himself to calm his mind, but it doesn't seem to be very effective. He has wasted 8 pieces of figure paper. In today's world, the Reiki of heaven and earth is disappearing, and the price of the materials for drawing figures is rising. Even Huizhu can't keep wasting materials like this. Therefore, he stops drawing wisely. Seeing that An is about to say something, Huizhu puts down his brush and says calmly, "Do you think that I want to ask her about the cultivators in the level of bearing essence?" An doesn't dare to answer. He lowers his head. He only knows that his grandmaster has been in the late stage of laying foundation for as long as he can remember. Even if his grandmaster wants to advance, it is not a wrong idea. Thinking of this, An plucks up his courage. "I would like to go to the Lin's house in person, to rebuild our friendship." Huizhu laughs. "You are really good at cooking. You have no talent for interpersonal communication." An is embarrassed. Huizhu pauses for a second and says, "Rebuild our friendship. I don't need to lower my head to a new cultivator in the level of laying foundation. What I care about is whether the road of heaven in the desert really exists. Chapter 201. Though Lin Luoran has just returned home, she has a lot of things to do. First of all, she can keep Baojia's accident from her parents, but she has to tell Commander Qin about it. Therefore, Lin Luoran goes to the military compound early in the morning. Commander Qin, who has retired due to illness, still lives in that small building. Even though the old man has retired, his old friends and subordinates in the army are still there, so no one dares to hurt him. Therefore, Lin Luoran enters the military compound smoothly. When she arrives at Commander Qin's small building, the old man is practicing boxing on the grass. Lin Luoran doesn't disturb him. She stands aside quietly, waiting for Commander Qin to finish his morning exercise. The old man seems to be practicing the military boxing in the army. Lin Luoran has practiced some fancy moves with the drill master during the military training, so she is very familiar with it. Of course, the military boxing in Commander Qin's hands is quite different from the fancy but impractical boxing that Lin Luoran used to practice. Commander Qin doesn't look murderous, but his punches are full of vigor, which shows the power of this boxing in his hands. Where the wind blows, the trees move, but the grass stays still. Lin Luoran doesn't know that Commander Qin is a master of internal martial arts. Commander Qin stops practicing, takes the towel from Lu Sanchun and wipes his sweat. "You little girl, what kind of wind blew you here today? You're actually willing to come see an old man like me?" Lin Luoran doesn't hide on purpose, so it's not strange that Commander Qin sees her. She smiles flatteringly and calls him Grandpa Qin. She says a lot of sweet words, and Commander Qin doesn't let her go until she is almost empty. Lin Luoran realizes that she hasn't seen Commander Qin for a long time. After 3 years in the blood pool underground, Commander Qin has grown a few years older. However, he doesn't look old at all. Is it because of the strange ginseng that is said to be fed by the crazy Taoist, or the effect of practicing internal martial arts? Lin Luoran cares about this question because she wants to prolong the life of her mother who can't cultivate. Of course, these are all private inquiries. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to give him gifts from the world of cultivation. However, the dahongpo twigs she stole from Wui Mountain are growing well in the space. Lin Luoran has picked them several times. Because of the space, the tender tea leaves can be preserved for a long time. Lin Luoran has accumulated a lot of tea leaves. She wants to find an old master to fry them, but she is almost arrested by the old master. Lin Luoran's tea leaves are kept in the most tender state, which is the standard pre-rain tea. The problem is that it is in autumn now. Where can she find such tea leaves? Besides, the old master had never touched the mother tree, Dahong Pao, but he was still able to tell the difference between good and bad. He knew the quality of the tea leaves, so how could the honest master who had been brewing tea for his entire life not be bewildered? However, Lin Luoran still can't get the tea leaves now. Compared with ordinary rock tea, Dahongpo is much more precious. Compared with ordinary rock tea, the roasting process of Dahong Pao tea is much more complicated: sun-drying, cooling, stir-frying, initial kneading, refrying, rekneading, water roasting, winnowing, cooling, picking, re-roasting, winnowing again, and adding fire. Every step is indispensable. Besides, the season for roasting tea has actually passed, so Lin Luoran still has to wait for a long time to make good tea. Therefore, what Lin Luoran gives to Commander Qin is a gift from Master Mu. Lin Luoran gives the Dahongpo to Commander Qin as a gift from Master Mu. It's good tea. Commander Qin takes a sip. He is very satisfied with the gift. Lin Luoran doesn't mention the Dahongpo tree. The old master is a law-abiding man. Picking the Dahongpo tree from the mother tree has been forbidden for a long time. Lin Luoran feels that Commander Qin won't accept it even if she tells him. Lin Luoran tells Commander Qin about Baojia uneasily. Commander Qin's hand holding the teacup is stiff. he is obviously worried. However, he only asks one question in the end. Master, is he all right? Well, although the crazy Taoist has a close relationship with the Qin family, Baojia is Commander Qin's only granddaughter. Shouldn't he ask about Baojia first? Lin Luoran suppresses her surprise and tells Commander Qin about the crazy Taoist. Commander Qin gradually relaxes his eyebrows. In the end, he is still worried, but he is smiling. Luoran, are you going to ask me why I don't ask about Baojia? Commander Qin smiles and winks mischievously. Lin Luoran still remembers how he looked when she first met him. After the Zhou family's revenge and Commander Qin's retirement due to illness, he doesn't seem to have aged at all. Lin Luoran feels guilty, not only because she took Baojia to Africa, but also because of her. In fact, Commander Qin wants Baojia to cultivate, and Lin Luoran also wants Baojia to cultivate. However, no one has ever asked Baojia if she really wants to cultivate. Now, if Baojia doesn't wake up, Lin Luoran won't even have the chance to ask. It's not that I don't want to ask, but Baojia has become a Taoist. I can't protect her for the rest of her life. She has to let go eventually. Isn't it the same sooner or later? Even if she died in front of the old man would still accompany her after a few years. If she is lucky enough to survive, she can find a chance to become an immortal. Thanks to you, I can rest assured. Commander Qin says leisurely, and he comes to a conclusion slowly. I can't participate in Baojia's life anymore, so I won't give any advice. If she is really as innocent as a piece of white paper after she wakes up, I will take care of her as long as I am alive. When I die, I will entrust her to you. So, you don't have to feel guilty or worried about her. Every path of life has its trials and tribulations. For example, the old man had been hit by shrapnel and brushed past bullets countless times when he was in a war. Wealth has always been a struggle against nature, let alone cultivation against nature. How can there be no risk? Commander Qin says slowly. Lin Luoran has never heard anyone analyze cultivation in this way, and she is gradually fascinated. Although Commander Qin is not a cultivator, his life experience is no less wonderful than that of a cultivator. Lin Luoran gains a lot from listening to his life experience. What does cultivation need? Talent, magic weapons, spells, adventures. Perhaps the most important thing is a brave heart. If Lin Luoran has a preconceived idea about adventure because of Baojia's accident, and she becomes timid on the path of cultivation, it may not be worth it. As Commander Qin said, even if Baojia wakes up and is as innocent as a piece of white paper, Lin Luoran will give her the best life and not let her suffer. Instead of feeling guilty and uneasy, it is better to find the soul wood and save Baojia as soon as possible. Lin Luoran sits on the sofa casually. Commander Qin's words can't be more ordinary. However, when she thinks it through, she feels a breeze in her ocean of consciousness, and her mind is clear. She hasn't been in such a state of mind for a long time. Did he make progress again? Lin Luoran doesn't care about it at the moment. She just enjoys the feeling. Chapter 202. When people talk about the Nine Eyes Bridge in our city, they all smile. Every city has some tacit landmarks that have nothing to do with romance. They belong to the local people's tacit understanding. For example, the Jiuyan Bridge in Chengdu. Some small bars are just the surface. In fact, the reason why it is deeply rooted in people's hearts is to get a permit. That's right, the latest second-generation ID card, graduation certificate, certain work qualification certificate. As long as you could think of a fake certificate, there was nothing that the Nine-Eyed Bridge couldn't do. Putting aside how many illegal crimes these fake certificates could bring, from a technical point of view, it really was a magical place where there were specializations in the field. However, the Nine Eyes Bridge is adjacent to the best university in our city. Lin Luoran gets off the taxi and walks to the east gate of the University of Chuan. Class is over. Many students are walking into the small restaurants around the school gate with books in their arms. Lin Luoran, who is wearing a hat, easily squeezes into the crowd without attracting any attention because there are many students who are in a hurry to eat. Lin Luoran walks past them in the shady campus. Their young but energetic faces remind her of her college days. Now that she thinks about it, she feels quite regretful that she has lost contact with all her college classmates except for Baojia because she dropped out of school before graduation and her life has always been unsatisfactory. Now she has the chance to go back to school again. Lin Luoran must cherish it. Lin Luoran asks a student for directions to the office of the Department of Chinese and Literature. Lin Luoran thanks the student and goes straight to the office building. The student is left in a daze. Since when does the Chuan University have a campus bell? Rong's roommate, Yan Feng, pats him on the shoulder and says, "Let's go." There are no seats left. Yan Feng smiles and says, "Don't say that I don't take care of you. I just saw a pretty girl and she asked for directions to the office of the Department of Chinese and Literature. You are such an idiot. She must be a freshman. I don't see you mentioning her in your dorm." Alas. Yen points at the direction where Lin Luoran disappeared and sighs. Rong is confused by Yan Feng's question. He has no time to care about these campus bells. However, he still looks at the direction Yan Feng is pointing at. The girl is wearing ordinary clothes. Her black hair is hidden under the brim of her hat. She has a slim figure. Because Yan Feng can't see her face clearly, Rong doesn't know what the campus bells looks like. Except that her back looks familiar. Rong dismisses this ridiculous idea. He is busy making a living every day. He doesn't know any campus bell. She must be someone he doesn't know. Thinking that he doesn't have any classes in the afternoon, Rong takes Yan Feng, who is reluctant to leave, to a small restaurant. Lin Luoran suddenly turns around and sees the backs of the two boys. She has a photographic memory now and she recognizes one of them is Rong Donglin, whom she has met once. What a coincidence! Luodong meets Rong on the train to Shihen. It turns out that Rong is studying at the nearby Chuan University. Luodong often talks about Rong when he comes back. Luodong must be happy now. Lin Luoran has an appointment with Rong, so she can't stop Rong. Anyway, they are in the same school and there will be many opportunities for them to meet in the future. Lin Luoran smiles and goes straight to the 4th floor. After asking around in detail, she knocked on the door of an office. The door is open, "Come in." The voice of an old man rings. Lin Luoran pushes open the half-closed door and sees an old man in a Chinese tunic suit. He is buried in a pile of documents with glasses. "Professor Qi, I've contacted you before. Do you have time now?" Professor Qi wipes his glasses and smiles. "It's you." "Yes, I do. Let's talk in detail." Lin Luoran has contacted Professor Qi several times. She wants to be his student and learn ancient Chinese characters as a research direction. Professor Qi is happy to hear that Lin Luoran is willing to pay the tuition fee and doesn't need a diploma. She only wants to study ancient Huaxia characters and literature. Nowadays, people are not what they used to be. Professor Qi rarely sees Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran has been embarrassed several times. The more she cultivates, the more she feels that she lacks knowledge. Lin Luoran has made up her mind to go back to school again. She didn't think it was a waste of time to use cultivation time to study. Knowledge was like aged wine, the longer it stayed, the more fragrant it would be. You might think that it was an investment of youth, but one day it would give you an unexpected return. Besides, in this world, even the world of cultivation doesn't know where to find the soul wood. Only in the long history of Huaxia, Lin Luoran has read about it between the lines. As long as there is a chance, Lin Luoran will not give it up. A public primary school in our city. Although it is not a primary school for the nobles, and the students here are not as extravagant as those in other primary schools. However, due to the restrictions of household registration, the students who can enter this primary school are either from a poor family or from a poor family. Those who are born in a rich and powerful family seldom bully others. Instead, they usually keep a low profile. The ones who often make a racket are those who are not as good as the poor. For example, there were a few children in class 3 of the 6th grade. Their parents either had some spare cash or a little bit of power. They formed cliques, and their most common targets of bullying were students who didn't seem to have a good family background. In the beginning, Luodong was not one of them. His clothes were not luxurious, but he had Li Shi's credit card. Besides, Baojia was his advisor. Even the shirt under his school uniform was carefully chosen by Luodong. Details tell the truth. Luodong is good-looking. Even though he is shy, many girls in the class like to play with him. Luodong blushes every time, but he is polite to them. If things have always been like this, this should be a peaceful but warm primary school life. Until one day, when the school is doing insurance, one of the naughty students accidentally learns that Luodong's household registration is in the countryside. Under the lead of the snobbish students, everyone's attitude towards Luodong changes. It turns out that he is from the countryside, and he is dressed well. His family will have to save a lot of money on groceries. Haha, didn't you say that he looks like a little prince? Nonsense, he doesn't. Maybe it's because Luodong's real identity is so different from the real one. Many students feel that they have been deceived and ignore Luodong. It is not a big deal for children to be straightforward. However, under the guidance of some naughty students, Luodong is isolated from the 3rd class. The naughty students always provoke Luodong. Luodong's school life is not very happy. When Lin Luoran was missing, the Lin family was in trouble. Luodong was too sensible and didn't say anything. Seeing that Luodong had no support from his parents, the naughty students in the class went too far. However, after the summer vacation this year, the 12-year-old Luodong seems to be different. Elementary school students are very alert. Before they figure out what happened to Luodong, they start to bully Luodong. In the classroom of the 3rd class of the 6th grade, Luodong is reciting English words. Seeing the small group led by Ma Ming walking to the corner, Luodong grabs the book tightly. He feels that they are in the same boat. In the corner is Huang Weijian, who just transferred to this school this semester. He is honest and dull, which reminds Luodong of his old self. Seeing Ma Ming instructing the others to tear Huang's book, Luodong stands up and says, "Hey, we are all classmates. Don't go too far." Chapter 203. Huang Weijian is a new student who just transferred to this school this semester. He wears an old-fashioned long johns under his thin school uniform. His bangs cover most of his face. If that's all, he looks like a quiet and introverted boy. However, he carries a canvas bag that has been extinct since the last century every day. Therefore, 1 month after he transferred to this school, he successfully takes over Luodong's position and becomes the most bullied student in the 3rd class of the 6th grade. For example, after class, Ma Ming feels that Huang Weijian, who is sitting in his seat with his head down, is not pleasing to the eye. Therefore, he takes the initiative to provoke Huang. However, Huang Weijian is a taciturn person. No matter what Ma Ming says, Huang Weijian just keeps his head down. Ma Ming hates Huang Weijian even more. In a few minutes, the situation finally developed to the point where Ma Ming ordered his followers to tear the book. "Hey, we are all classmates. Don't go too far." Luodong hesitates and is afraid. However, when he says it out loud, he finds that it is not so difficult. Ma Ming and his lackeys are stunned for a second and then burst into laughter. "Luodong, mind your own business. Do you think that you are a city dweller now that you come back? Bullshit. Maybe you downloaded those photos from the internet. Stop pretending to be rich." Luodong has a good temper, but Ma Ming has a foul mouth. His arrogant tone always makes Luodong want to beat him up. This summer, Luodong went on a trip with his sister. They went north and then south. Luodong cherished the days in the mountains, enjoying the dew and singing birds. Luodong printed out all the photos. Luodong's family wants to train Luodong to be independent, so Luodong does everything for him. Luodong picks up the photos during lunch break and plans to take them home after school. Unfortunately, his desk mate bumps into the bag and the photos are all over the floor. The high-definition photos taken by the SLR camera show the patterns on the butterfly's back clearly and the dew in the middle of the flower is crystal clear. Luodong clumsily takes some photos of Luodong's face, but he only gets a small part of Luodong's face. Luodong's classmates who used to look down on Luodong are astonished. Kids nowadays are smart and have a lot of information. It's not strange that they know about DSLR cameras. The better kids can easily buy tens of thousands of DSLR cameras. Luodong's classmates learn that Luodong took these photos with his sister on a trip to Mount Hua during the summer vacation. Luodong is a poor kid from the countryside. In fact, they are all 11 or 12 years old. They are not snobbish to this extent. They are just afraid that they will be isolated when someone takes the lead to get close to Luodong and laugh at them. This is the trick of Ma Ming's group. After the photo incident, people start to treat Luodong better. Ma Ming is the only one who doesn't give up. He still tries to isolate Luodong and doubts the authenticity of the photo. Luodong doesn't want to argue with these people, nor does he want to explain. He is becoming more and more cheerful. Finally, someone is speaking up for Luodong. His desk mate, who was a study commissary, was the first to stand up. Ma Ming, we are classmates. It's wrong of you to tear Huang's book. Now you are treating Luodong like this. That's too much. The little tyrant Ma Ming glared at her. Wei Shui, this is a matter between us guys, it's none of your business. I told you guys earlier, he's just a poor guy from the countryside, pretending to be a rich young master. Don't tell me you've fallen for this guy, that's why you're so concerned about him. Wei Shui, why didn't I know that you are so vain before? The little girl is speechless after Ma Ming accuses her of being greedy for money and loving the rich. Primary school students are more obedient to the class leaders. Ever since she became the study commissary, she has never been humiliated like this. Tears are rolling in her eyes. She is about to cry. In addition, there were a few people in the classroom who were looking at her suspiciously. Wei Shui thought of the term, puppy love, that her cousins mentioned. She finally couldn't hold back her tears and they flowed down. Ma Ming and his friends laugh. They throw Huang's stationery box into the dustbin and walk to Luodong with their arms around each other's shoulders. Wei Shui is too weak. Luodong, you should find a better backer next time and pretend to be rich. Ha 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 ha, I don't need a backer. Lin Luodong stares at Ma Ming, who is laughing so hard that he says it seriously. What? Ma Ming doesn't hear it clearly. Maybe he does. He doesn't believe that Luodong can say such tough words, so he asks again. Luodong sighs and says again, I don't need a backer. Anne. I'm going to hit you. His fist is not strong. However, after the training of rock climbing, he can punch suddenly. Ma Ming, who is a little fat boy, can't dodge it. Ah! Ma Ming covers his nose and falls back. His followers catch him so that he doesn't fall to the ground. He didn't expect that Luodong would dare to hit him. After all, they have bullied Luodong for so long that they know him well. More importantly, who would hit someone and tell him that he is going to hit him? Ma Ming feels something warm in his palm. He spreads it out and finds that his hand is all red. He has a nosebleed. This makes the little fat boy ignore his impression of Luodong. Luodong seems to be different now. Beat him. Beat him to death. The followers are hesitant. Ma Ming adds, it's my treat this afternoon. Hearing the great reward, the followers don't hesitate anymore. They all rush to Luodong. Boys don't know how to control their strength when they fight. Luodong has been eating vegetables in the space all year round, so he is strong. However, he still can't fight against them. Seeing that the fight is getting fiercer, people in the classroom want to report to the teacher secretly. However, Ma Ming, who is still nosebleed, blocks the door and says, "Who dares to report to the teacher? Beat him too." He glares at Wei Shui after saying this. Seeing that Luodong is fighting with several people, Wei Shui looks at Huang Weijian, who is the cause of the conflict. She screams, "Huang Weijian, are you a man or not?" Huang Weijian wants to take his old canvas bag several times. In the end, he retracts his hand and stares at Wei Shui seriously. He says, "Actually, I'm just a boy at most." It seems to be the first time for him to speak in class. Before Wei Shui has time to be surprised, she is almost driven mad by what he said. As a representative of good students, it is true that she does not like to see classmates fighting, but this kind of person who just watches others fight and hides behind others when others help him. Wei Shui feels that this kind of person is even more abominable than the person who fights. Huang Weijian naturally felt the disdain from the commissary in charge of studies. He took another look at the canvas bag. Anyway, he was despised, so he was no longer hesitant. "I didn't ask him for help, did I?" Huang Weijian tries to convince himself. However, seeing that Luodong seems to be fighting for him, he lowers his head stiffly to hide the unnaturalness in his eyes. When the boys are fighting and Ma Ming is wiping the blood from his nose, a voice comes from outside the window, "Teacher Chiu. Is this the harmonious 6th grade class 3 that you were talking about?" The voice is as familiar as spring water. Luodong is stunned. He is hit in the face by a kid and his mouth is bleeding. "Stop it." The homeroom teacher pushed away the little fatty who was blocking the door. He felt his face burning. He had just been bragging in front of the beautiful girl about the quality of the school's teaching and how good the atmosphere in class 3 was. Now, these naughty kids immediately used reality to slap him in the face. This made the single male homeroom teacher, who was older than he was, furious. What's more, the person who is visiting is being beaten by the naughtiest students in the class. The head teacher feels that his ears are burning. No matter how arrogant the students are, they are still afraid of the teacher, especially the head teacher. They all stop fighting and don't dare to say a word. "Tell me, what's going on?" The head teacher is furious. If he didn't have to keep his image, he would be even worse. Wei Shui, the commissary in charge of studies, tells the head teacher the whole story. The head teacher is in a dilemma. Though it sounds like Good Samaritan, it is Luodong who started it. What should he do? Luodong sneaks a glance at the door. Lin Luoran is standing there quietly. Luodong can't tell if she is happy or angry. Wei Shui suddenly exclaims, "You are Luodong's sister." The girl has a good memory. She can recognize Luodong's sister even though she has only seen half of Luodong's face. Now even Ma Ming and others are attracted by her scream, including Huang Weijian. Luodong's sister looks like a movie star. Damn it! Why can't she be my sister? Ma Ming thinks angrily. He feels a little embarrassed that he hit Luodong's brother in front of his sister. Huang Weijian glances at Luodong and turns his head quickly. He doesn't notice that Lin Luoran has been looking at him secretly. Lin Luoran stops looking at Luodong and says with a faint smile, "Just do what you need to do." Luodong is too young. "Sorry to bother you." Luodong breathes a sigh of relief. Ma Ming and his friends are sad. The head teacher tells them to go to the office together. Wei Shui walks at the back. She sobs, "It's not Luodong's fault. It was Ma Ming and the others who started it. They bullied Huang Weijian and then scolded me. That's why Luodong fought with them." Lin Luoran nods, showing that she believes what the girl said. Wei Shui catches up with Luodong, she is the witness. Of course, she has to go to the office with Luodong. In fact, Lin Luoran's eyes have been on Huang Weijian, who is following the crowd silently. As the fuse of the incident, this boy is too low-key. However, Lin Luoran is really curious about how Huang Weijian tolerates being bullied, having his homework torn into pieces, and facing all kinds of provocations from other children. It seems that he transferred to this school this semester. Is it a coincidence, or is it arranged by someone? Lin Luoran narrows her eyes. People who know her well know that this is a very dangerous signal. Chapter 204. In front of Lin Luoran, the head teacher doesn't treat the fight as a fight. It is just a small conflict between students. The head teacher wants to invite Ma Ming's parents. Lin Luoran subtly refuses the excessive attention of the head teacher. Since it is just a small conflict, there is no need to inform Ma Ming's parents. In the end, Lin Luoran is punished by the head teacher. They will be responsible for cleaning the classroom for half a month. From what happened today, Lin Luoran can imagine what Luodong has been through in the past. She feels sorry for Luodong, but she is also happy for his growth. Lin Luoran waits for Luodong to finish cleaning the classroom so that she can take him home. Seeing Luodong getting into the BMW with his sister who is like a movie star, Ma Ming spits in disdain, "Bah! Nouveau riche." As soon as he finishes his words, his father, who is wearing a big gemstone ring and a tight suit, who looks exactly like an enlarged version of Ma Ming, drives a car to pick him up in person to show the affection between father and son. Coincidentally, Ma Ming is driving a BMW. When his father shouts, "Xiao Ming," Wei Shui bursts into laughter. Ma Ming can't keep his face straight. He doesn't even have time to say goodbye to his followers. He quickly gets into the back seat of the car and disappears. Because of cleaning, they are the last group of people to leave the campus. It is not until Wei Shui's mother comes to pick her up that she sees Huang Weijian slowly coming out of the school gate, holding the torn book in his hand, his head still down. Wei Shui snorts and turns her face to show her dissatisfaction. Huang doesn't say anything. He walks slowly into the crowd with the book in his hand. The setting sun gilded the silent youth with some golden light, concealing some of his shabbiness. At the corner of the street, Lin Luoran is sitting in the car, staring at the direction of Huang's departure. Seeing her in a daze, Luodong calls her "sister" in a low voice. Lin Luoran comes back to herself and says with a smile, "Your classmate is interesting." "Luodong, you don't have much homework today, do you?" Luodong shakes his head. He doesn't understand why his sister is so interested in Huang. Besides, what does it have to do with homework? Luodong has so many questions in his mind. However, he doesn't dare to ask more because Lin Luoran caught him in the fight. Autumn gradually came, and the nights were long and the days were short. The neon lights on the streets of Rome City quietly lit up. The young boy with his bangs covering his eyes didn't seem to smell the aroma of the dishes from the roadside restaurants. Like an agile kitten, he slipped into an alley in the bustling city. The further they walked, the more secluded they became. Finally, they arrived at an old neighborhood. This is a residential area adjacent to the lotus pond of the wholesale market in Rome City. There are frequent movements of people. It is a complicated place that is prone to trouble. Huang Weijian is alone. He passes through the noisy crowd and goes up to the 7th floor. Although it was called a building, it was actually just a small iron house. The entire surface was mottled and peeling, and it looked like it had been there for many years. Strictly speaking, these buildings were illegal buildings. They were built by the residents of the community to be rented out to outsiders. Huang Weijian doesn't make a fire to cook as usual. Instead, he takes out half a bottle of glue from a pile of junk and carefully sticks the textbook torn by Ma Ming on the broken table. There are a lot of clean waste paper and plastic bottles piled high against the iron house. Finally, he sticks the textbook. Huang Weijian seems to be relieved. For the first time, his silent and childish face shows an emotion called happiness. Then he starts to do his homework. Both his stationery and his school bag are so shabby that they blend in with the environment here. Even his homework is obviously made of many old books. It's getting dark. Huang Weijian is lying on the broken table. Because of the dim light, he seems to be struggling to write, but he hasn't turned on the light all the time. Most people can guess what's going on. Inside the small iron house, you can see everything clearly. A single bed made of wood, some clothes, a lame cupboard for daily necessities, an iron pot, bowls, chopsticks, a plastic basin, and nothing else. That's all there is in the iron house. Even if you take a closer look, you can only see a rusty lamp without a bulb in the iron house. It can barely be regarded as an electrical appliance. Obviously, the iron house where Huang Weijian lives is poor. Fortunately, as Lin Luodong said, there is not much homework today. Huang Weijian finally finishes it before the sun completely sets. He puts away the books and sets up the iron pot. It seems that he is going to cook by himself. However, there is still no parent in the iron house. Huang Weijian's dinner is very simple. He has a small pot of rice, pickles, and chili sauce. For a boy of 11 or 12 years of age, it was unknown what kind of life experience he had gone through, but he was able to skillfully use a simple stove made of 3 fire bricks. He relied on rotten wood and firewood to cook just the right amount of rice in an iron pot. The preciousness of the food made this kind of meal seem especially delicious. Huang Weijian is about to eat some rice. When his chopsticks touch the pickles, he hears footsteps coming from the stairwell. A chubby woman appears at the stairwell. Seeing Huang Weijian eating, she seems to struggle for a while, but still comes up. Aunt Lu. Huang Weijian puts down the bowl and chopsticks and stands up quickly. The way he calls her shows that she is not his family. You are so polite. Eat quickly, or you will be out of sight. The chubby woman waves her hand, motioning him to sit down. She seems to know about Huang Weijian's situation, so she signals the boy to eat quickly. Huang Weijian does not sit down. Aunt Lu, about the rent. Aunt Lu blushes. I am not here to urge you. We watched you grow up and we all know you. It's just that your sister Xian needs to pay tuition fees. I really. She says she is not urging him, but her words imply that his family is in trouble and needs money. How can Huang Weijian sit still? Aunt Lu, I understand. Please wait. Huang Weijian opens the door of the iron house and takes out a stack of notes from under the bed. There are 100 yuan bills and a few cents in change. There are hundreds of yuan in total. He hands it to Aunt Lu. Did you save all this money by picking up trash? Although Aunt Lu is here to urge the rent, she feels a little embarrassed to take the boy's hard-earned money. The stack of notes becomes hot, making her unable to say the words she has prepared. Huang Weijian smiles shyly. I saved it by picking up trash. Aunt Lu, please take it first. I will pay off the rest as soon as possible. Aunt Lu can't say anything more. She sighs. You are so bitter and stubborn. In fact, your grandpa. Huang Weijian lowers his head. Grandpa said he would be back soon. He wouldn't lie to me. Thinking that this boy is the same age as her daughter, Aunt Lu softens her heart. She doesn't mention Huang Weijian's grandpa anymore. She even forgets to remind him to pay the rent as soon as possible. She encourages him and goes downstairs. Watching Aunt Lu disappear in the corridor, Huang Weijian let out a sigh of relief and murmured, I've been missing for a few months. I don't even have money to pay the rent. Why did she transfer me to this primary school before she disappeared? If the tuition was not refundable, I wouldn't be in such a difficult situation. He complains about his missing grandpa in his tone. The boy mutters a few words to himself, and finally turns all his grievances into appetite. He fiercely eats up a small pot of rice, leaving not even a grain of rice. Huang Weijian washes the bowls and chopsticks at the faucet on the rooftop and cleans up the unfinished spicy sauce. He sits on the broken bench and stares blankly for a while. There is only a small ball of rice left in the bag. Even if he only eats, it won't last for a few days. In order not to waste the tuition, he has to study, but he also has to live. Huang Weijian can't help but whisper, "Where can I get a lot of money?" He thinks for a while, but it doesn't seem to work. He shakes his head and smiles bitterly. Finally, he picks up the snakeskin bag for picking up trash and a pair of tongs. He locks up the poor tin house and goes downstairs. A voice of pity comes from the window of Aunt Lu's house downstairs. Did the boy go to pick up trash again? He is so pitiful. Another male voice says impatiently, who is not pitiful in this day and age? Prices have risen a lot, but wages have not risen a dime. Don't we feel pity for him? If he can't pay the rent. Oh. The male voice seems to be blocked by something and stops abruptly. However, Huang Weijian, who is walking on the stairs, still hears the rest of the words. He squeezes the snakeskin bag harder and finally decides to pick up more trash tonight. It doesn't matter if he goes to bed later. A wild cat jumps from the rooftop. It seems to have smelled the leftover rice. However, Huang is too careful when eating, so there is no leftover rice for it to snack on. The wild cat is very angry that it has come here for nothing. It scratches the broken table and is about to take away the canvas bag that Huang left on the table. Not far away, there is a noise. The wild cat is scared and quickly runs back the way it came. Two figures appeared on the opposite rooftop. Fortunately, it was already dark. Otherwise, the sudden appearance of a living person would really scare people to death. Luodong feels embarrassed for peeping at his classmates' embarrassment. It turns out that Huang Weijian's family is so poor. It seems that he is an orphan. No wonder he looks so much like Luodong. Luodong suddenly feels closer to the new classmate who went out with the snakeskin bag. Although he doesn't understand why his sister sneaks up, Luodong feels that this trip is not a complete waste. "Sister," he calls softly. Lin stares at the canvas bag and suddenly smiles. Interesting. Luodong, your new classmate is not simple. Otaku Yi Xiaobei righteously follows the team to the Tower of Babel. However, he is timid at the last moment. He is afraid that he will encounter a difficult checkpoint if he is in a team with a higher cultivation, so he chooses to be alone. With the help of the Tower of Babel, Yi Xiaobei gets what he wants and gets to the safest place. When he was thirsty, he could make water out of thin air. When he was hungry, he could eat. Nothing could be more carefree than this. Of course, if there were no phantom in fancy clothes and flying phoenix eyes, Yi Xiaobei's trial in the Tower of Babel would be really comfortable. Ancestor of the monsters of wood? Gossip thousands of years ago. At first, Yi Xiaobei thinks he is lucky to meet the will of the senior cultivator. These are all inheritances. Senior cultivator, do you have a super cultivation method that can help people reach the level of laying foundation in 1 year and become immortals in 100 years? No. The phantom faintly feels that his eyebrows are twitching. Senior cultivator, there should be an elixir that can help people to cultivate for 100 years, right? If the foundation is not stable, the further one cultivates, the more difficult it will be to go against the current. The phantom comforts him patiently. Well, stop talking. I know you don't have it. Senior cultivator, you should remember the cave before you become immortals, right? Yi Xiaobei is full of expectations. Isn't it all like this in the serial novels on the BBS? Meet the will of a master and get the mysterious inheritance. Soon, Yi Xiaobei knows that the group of nerdy cultivator writers on the BBS is bullshit. The gossip the Phantom wants to talk about has nothing to do with cultivation methods, let alone inheritance. It talks about how a master's daughter fell in love with him thousands of years ago, how a black bear spirit transformed into an extremely beautiful woman, or how a scorpion spirit took a bath and all monsters peeped at it and were discovered by the scorpion spirit's husband. Such gossip is new to Yi Xiaobei. However, after being told by the phantom in the tone of a lady boy for a few days, and every gossip is evidence of the phantom's narcissism, Yi Xiaobei almost goes crazy. He doesn't care about the senior cultivator and inheritance anymore. He pats the walls around him and wants to go out. The phantom shakes its head. This time I really don't lie to you. I will tell you about the adventure in Mount Penglai. Yi Xiaobei bangs his head against the wall. He doesn't want to listen. The phantom is a little helpless. The moral degeneration of the world is getting worse. Young people nowadays are really impatient. All right, I'll give you my most precious item. Yi Xiaobei's eyes light up. The phantom takes out a glowing green object and gives it to him. A book made of leaves. Does the phantom know that his surname is Yi and deliberately tease him? Yi Xiaobei screams, and the phantom is angry. You don't know what's good for you. Yi Xiaobei is kicked to the wall. This time, he doesn't hit the wall. He goes through it. The phantom hands over the leaf tree, smiles reluctantly, and then disappears into a puff of smoke. It was originally a strand of remnant will attached to the ancient book, and after 1,000 years, it had developed its own consciousness. However, the ancient book is precious and can't be buried in the extra-dimensional space of the Tower of Babel forever. If it hands over the ancient book, it will only turn into smoke. Alas, this little human cultivator is really impatient. It is rare that the ancestor is in a good mood and wants to talk about the trip to Mount Penglai, but he doesn't want to listen. Yi Xiaobei falls to the ground with a bang, and the leaf book in his hand flies out. He is dizzy because of the fall. When he looks up and sees so many people, he is even more surprised. Most otakus are introverted and are not used to people's attention. Yi Xiaobei climbs up timidly. He is not used to the legendary Master Lin staring at him with such bright eyes. It's rare to be lectured by the phantom of the lady boy. Has he become more handsome? Yi Xiaobei is secretly happy. Then he finds that Master Lin is staring at the leaf book under his feet. Lin Luoran almost weeps with joy at the moment. Even the female monster who is alienated from the crowd is surprised and happy. The ancient book of the monsters of wood. The modifier of this sentence is that it is the ancient book of the monsters of wood that she lost. A green vine flies out of her hand and Yang Lisha catches it. Everyone looked at Yi Xiaobei with jealousy in their eyes. How could a pie fall from the sky hit this guy? He felt even more uneasy. The only acquaintance, Chu Yiren, pats him on the shoulder. Xiaobei, you are so lucky. Lucky for what? Before Yi Xiaobei wakes up from the fall, the platform shakes violently again. Of course, the Tower of Babel won't collapse. Everyone who has returned from the checkpoint is thrown out mercilessly by the Tower of Babel. Lin Luoran holds the cyan little fox and Goldie in her arms. She is afraid to leave the two little guys in the Tower of Babel and get lost in the chaotic time and space. Mr. Lin has already jumped off the skeleton ship. Yuan Yi thinks for a while and grabs the mast of the ship. If no one is left in it, this ship is a good thing. It should be able to be thrown out with him. Even Grandpa Gua and Grandpa Mu don't let go of the two horses. They all say that they have gone to another world. Only the two horses are the witnesses. The earth shakes and everyone is thrown into the sand. There are two unattended date trees by the river. This is the place where everyone entered the Tower of Babel. The magnificent tower has disappeared and the crystal ball has sunk into the ground again. Not only are they dizzy from the fall, but there are also a group of locals in ragged clothes with powerful weapons pointing at them. The younger generation can't help but look at Lin Luoran. Master Lin, what should we do now? The lips of a small leader of a militant group in Iraq are trembling under his beard. They had received a tip-off that a group of tourists had gone missing. Since they had gone missing in the desert, didn't it mean that whoever found them would be able to get it? They have been searching nearby for many days and almost went into the river to fish out the body. When they are about to give up, this group of Huaxia people comes down from the sky. We just want to grab some food and clothes. Well, at most, we can add some gold jewelry. You don't have to scare us like this, do you? The small leader's outlook on life and the world are all shocked. He collapses when he meets Lin Luoran's indifferent gaze. He throws the machine gun in his hand into the sand, takes out the gold jewelry hidden in his belt, and gives it to Lin Luoran with both hands. His men all follow him. Master Lin is so powerful that many people are dazzled by her. After hearing Chu Yi's explanation, Yi Xiaobei, who is a nerd, starts to understand the meaning of finding the Book of Leaves. Pie, a big pie. After Master Mu and Master Guo talk for a while, Master Mu hands the Heart of Druid on a silver chain to Lin Luoran. Master. It may contain information about the Tower of Babel, which is very precious. Master Mu waves his hand, I can trust you. You are a good boy. You are cold on the outside but warm on the inside. We all know how you take care of us. First of all, you have prolonged Master Guo's life for many years. If he doesn't repay you, it will hurt his Taoist heart. Second of all, I have gained something, so I'm afraid that I have to do closed-door training to make a breakthrough. I don't have time to study the Heart of Druid. Chapter 206. In autumn, enjoying chrysanthemums and eating crabs is the best time to enjoy life. Crabs in our city are also on the market. Mrs. Lin spends half a day in the seafood market and buys a crab with the name of Yangqing Lake Hairy Crab. Mrs. Lin checks carefully to make sure that there are no needle holes and it doesn't look like a water-filled crab. Finally, she pays for it. As for whether it is from Yangqing Lake or not, even Lin Luoran, who is in the level of laying foundation, can't tell. Mrs. Lin has a lot of free time. When Lin Luoran was in the blood pool in the dungeon, Mrs. Lin and Mr. Lin went to get a driving license. After Lin Luoran came back from the Kalahari Desert, she bought an ordinary domestic car and gave the BMW she bought before to her parents. The BMW has a lot of space in the back seat and is convenient for shopping. Mrs. Lin bought a basket full of crabs, shrimps, and beef. In fact, the Lin family has gradually become vegetarian. After all, compared with ordinary food, vegetables and fruits in the space are much better in taste and nutrition. Mrs. Lin prepares a feast today because Luodong's classmates are coming to visit. Luodong was only 7 or 8 years old when he first came to the Lin family. 4 years have passed and the little boy with autism now has classmates and friends. This is a big deal for everyone in the Lin family. Of course, Wei Shui is the only one who agrees to visit the Lin family. In fact, Luodong also invited Huang Weijian, but Huang Weijian silently refused. Luodong was rejected by Huang. Knowing that Mrs. Lin is busy at home, Lin Luoran thinks of another person. Rong Donglin, who taught Luodong how to deal with people for the first time, will appear in the Lin family. Luodong will be very happy. Lin Luoran glances at her mother who is frying meatballs and picks up the car key. Mom, I need to go out. Mr. Lin comes in with a plate of washed crabs and Lin Luoran almost bumps into him. Mrs. Lin throws the meatballs into the pot and says, Look at your daughter. She is so old and still so noisy, everyone says that Luoran is only in her early 20s. Mr. Lin, who is usually honest, dares to argue with Mrs. Lin when it comes to his daughter. Mrs. Lin throws a vegetable leaf to Mr. Lin. When the leaf is about to cover Mr. Lin's face, it suddenly stops. Mr. Lin moves his fingers slightly and stops the leaf. Lin Luoran can release Reiki to control the falling leaves. With the help of elixirs and Reiki Jade, Mr. Lin can finally release Reiki. This is a sign that he has officially reached the early stage of training Qi. Mr. Lin's next step is to learn spells of the 5 elements. Seeing Mr. Lin's progress in cultivation, Mrs. Lin inevitably feels gloomy. She already knew that she couldn't cultivate for the time being. Although her daughter said that there was a solution, how could she not be worried when it wasn't implemented? She didn't want to live forever, nor did she want to have the ability to topple mountains and overturn seas. She only wanted to cultivate so that she could stay by her husband and daughter's side for a long time. Having been with his wife for decades, Mr. Lin knows his wife better than anyone else. Looking at her expression, he knows that she thinks too much. However, the more he talks about it, the more the listener cares about it. Putting the crabs on the table, Mr. Lin makes up his mind that if his wife can't cultivate, he will. All right, if you don't scoop it up, the meatballs will be burnt. Go, go, go. Let's go and pick the vegetables. Mrs. Lin gets rid of her messy thoughts and starts to fry the meatballs. Goldie is pacing in the yard. The smell of meat from the kitchen makes it hungry. Its master told it to hide today and it might as well go to the mountains to catch some game. The sun is setting. Luodong is about to leave school. Compared with the warm and relaxed atmosphere of Lin's family, Rong has been having a hard time these days. The uneasiness in his heart was confirmed. On the next day, a few burly men, who looked like they were idle members of society, blocked his dormitory. They don't beat him at first. Instead, they hand Rong a bill of 140,000 yuan, which is for repairing his car. Except for Yen Feng, all the other students in the dorm are from ordinary families. They have never seen such a scene. Yen Feng says that he won't pay the bill, but he is thrown out of the dorm by a man with a scorpion tattoo on his arm. At that time, Yen Feng only asks Rong to think about it. The situation is not serious. Everyone in the dorm agrees that they won't pay the bill. Besides, if Rong can afford 140,000 yuan, he won't have to work so many jobs at the same time. Yen Feng says that if these people come again, he will call the police. Rong was not in the wrong at that time, and Yen Feng claims that he can be a witness. Yen Feng doesn't think it is a serious matter, so he doesn't report it to the school. However, the next day, these people come again. Compared with yesterday, they come prepared this time. On the note they hand to Rong, there is the address of Rong's hometown and the information of his family members. Rong wonders how these people find out. Obviously, they are used to doing this kind of thing. After saying a few words, they leave and say that they will come to collect the money tomorrow. Yen Feng immediately calls the police. However, there is no camera at the scene of the accident. For one thing, they don't know who is responsible for the accident. For another thing, these people didn't do anything. They can't just say that Rong was threatened by a piece of paper. On the way back from the police station, Rong is a little upset. Yen Feng was very loyal. He patted him on the shoulder and went to take out his private stash of 30,000 yuan. Rong knows that Yen Feng's family is not very rich. Before closing the door, the tattooed man says arrogantly, "Hey, we are inviting Rong to have some fun. Mind your own business. Mind your own business." Yen Feng pulls a tree branch and is about to smash the window. However, when he turns around, he sees that the back of the van is already far away, with black smoke rising from it. In a hurry, he only has time to write down the license plate number. The van passes by a white BMW and disappears around the corner. Screech, the BMW stops in front of Yen Feng, and Lin Luoran's face appears. "It's you." Yen Feng is still holding the stick in his hand. He doesn't know what to do. He has a deep impression of Lin Luoran, so he recognizes her at first sight. Lin Luoran certainly remembers this boy who she once asked for directions. On the way, she realizes that she doesn't know Rong's contact information or which dorm he lives in. Lin Luoran is thinking whether she should ask Professor Chi for help. However, as soon as she enters the campus, she sees the boy who walked with Rong last time. Lin Luoran feels that it is a coincidence. "Excuse me, which dorm does Rong live in? Do you have his contact information?" Is he looking for Rong? Yan Feng is stunned. Then he realizes, he was taken away. I'm worried that he might be in danger. Let's call the police first. Yan Feng continues. Lin Luoran frowns. When did this happen? Just now. It was the van that collided with yours. Lin Luoran steps on the accelerator and the van turns around. Yan Feng jumps in front of the van and says, I remember the license plate number. Let me go with you. Get in. Seeing that the campus bell seems to be cold, Yan Feng opens the back door and slips in. He is still holding the stick in his hand, which is quite funny. Lin Luoran asks for the license plate number and releases all her spiritual mind. Her spiritual mind stretches for miles, searching for the car in the endless stream. It's not this one. No, it's not. It's this one. The appearance and the license plate are the same. Lin Luoran opens her eyes again. She is confident and starts the car to chase after the van. Yan Feng is a little nervous. A BMW driver must be rich. He doesn't know if the campus belle is close to Rong and how much she will do to save him. Anyway, Rong, you are such a scumbag. How dare you lie to me and say that you don't know her? Damn it. Why would she save you when you don't know her? Lin Luoran has no idea what Yan Feng is thinking. While driving, she asks about the whole story. Soon, she gets the general idea. So, Rong actually called her for help when he had the chance. However, Rong didn't call her in the past 3 or 4 days. Lin Luoran thinks more highly of him. Whether it is out of self-esteem or other reasons, Lin Luoran believes that Rong is a good student. He is a good friend of Luodong. What worries Lin is whether she can go home in time for dinner. Rong's sudden appearance at the dinner table will be a pleasant surprise for her. Chapter 207. Why does Chao Liang care about a poor student? At the moment, Chao Liang is sitting in a private room of a famous slow shake bar in our city. He is different from the gentleness he shows in front of Xingtian. His face is full of arrogance and pride. He is also 25 years old. Among his peers, most of them have just graduated from the ivory tower 1 or 2 years ago. Maybe they are still looking for jobs that suit them, or maybe they have just settled down and are thinking about saving money to buy a house and get married. What about Chao Liang? He is only 25 years old, but he already has a decent position in Zhang's company. His job is easy, but he has real power. At the age of 25, he owns 2 houses in our city, a Maserati and a Mercedes-Benz. He also owns some shares in this slow shake bar. Even if he doesn't do anything for the rest of his life, he can live a rich life in the eyes of ordinary people. Although his father is only the general manager of Zhang's branch in our city, he also owns some shares of Zhang's company. Because of the high price of real estate, Chao Liang gets a big bonus every year. As the son of a senior manager, Chao Liang can live a comfortable life. Of course, compared with Xingtian, Chao Liang is nothing. Chao Liang is rich in the eyes of ordinary people. One is the son of the boss and the other is the son of a senior member of the company. They are childhood friends. Chao Liang has been in the society for some time and he is a small leader in the company. Compared with Xingtian, who has been in college for 6 years, Chao Liang is undoubtedly more outstanding in the eyes of outsiders. If their identities can be swapped, Chao Liang would agree with this statement. To put it simply, what makes Chao Liang unhappy is that Xingtian's arrival makes him feel pressured. He feels that he has lost his shine because of the competition. He would rather be the head of a chicken than the tail of a phoenix. Chao Liang used to have his own social circle, and he was doing quite well in it. He had many friends and was very popular. However, when Xingtian comes to our city, Chao Liang becomes Zhang's follower. He hates Xingtian for taking away his glory, but he also looks forward to following Xingtian to a higher social circle. This contradictory mentality makes him lose his temper at the slightest thing, just like those days in the month. Chao Liang has never been low-key, but now he is even more sinister. Obviously, this is the reason why Rong is so unlucky. Chao Liang is the son of the boss and the son of a senior official. It is reasonable for Chao to be Xing Tian's follower. However, what makes Chao feel so unfair is that 20 years ago, he and Xing Tian used to play with mud in the same yard. At that time, Xing Tian's father was Lao Chao's subordinate. If Xing Tian's father didn't go into business first, Chao Liang thinks that he and Xing Tian should be in the same position now. Of course, Chao doesn't think he is being extreme. He is still his childhood friend. In front of Zheng, he is his childhood friend. In Chao's eyes, Rong is the law. In Chao, the strong Liang thinks. Law is Chao. Chao is Chao. Chao is Zheng is Yang. But Chao is, and Chao. And he is. It's just dark, and the bar is not open yet. When Rong is pushed into the bar, several young women in revealing clothes and smoky makeup look at him in surprise. When they see the brothers, who usually work in the bar, they suddenly realize what is going on. Maybe someone pissed off Mr. Chao again. In order to keep their jobs, they just keep quiet and do what they are doing, pretending that they didn't see anything. Soon after they escort Rong into the private room, a man and a woman walk in. The man is holding a wooden stick, which looks ridiculous. The woman is stunning under the flickering light. This combination was a little strange, but there was no reason not to do business. Someone still politely received the two of them. They didn't even suspect that the young boy was here to cause trouble. The attack power of the wooden stick in his hand was really trash with a combat power of only 5. The young woman asks for a private room. Although the private room is right next to Chao's, these people don't think too much about it. Both the man and the woman look thin and gentle, which makes people relax easily. Beauty, this is the wine list. When the bartender is thinking about how to promote the wine, the young woman points at the wine list. They are all expensive. Wow, this is a big commission. The bartender is happy and becomes more enthusiastic. How many people are there? 2. Yan Feng put up 2 fingers. The 2 bottles of wine that cost 4 digits made him dizzy. He had been to this bar with his friends before, but at most, he only sat in the booth. He had never been to a private room. Wine that cost 4 digits, cough cough, although his family had a small business, if he dared to drink like this, he would most likely be beaten to death by his father. Soon, the wine is served. The amber wine is sparkling in the glass. Yan Feng notices that the campus bell is listening to the people next door. He sticks to the wall and listens. The sound insulation is so good that Yan Feng doesn't know how the campus bell can listen to the sound. Yan Feng thinks that there may be a fierce fight later. Since he has ordered the wine, he might as well drink it to boost his courage. He doesn't care if the wine needs to be diluted or not. He holds the bottle and starts to drink. When Lin smells the aroma of the wine, she finds that her roommate, Rong, burps with an empty bottle and giggles, haha, campus bell, hi, we meet again. Seeing that Rong is pushed into the room and almost falls, Chao Liang raises his glass of wine and gives Rong a fake salute. He smiles. The bald man with a scorpion tattoo on his arm laughs, Mr. Chao, here you are. Shall we go out or? There are 2 kinds of repairmen. One is done by the employer, and the other is done by them. The tattooed man is very competent. Chao Liang pats his female companion and says, go and have a drink with Brother Bao. Chao Liang is surprised when he sees Rong, not to mention how his female companion drinks with Brother Bao. Rong is indeed a student from an ivory tower. He seems to have a backbone, different from those white-collar workers who are easily frightened. Rong, you must have seen the bill. 140,000 yuan. How are you going to pay it back? Rong shows a rare sarcastic smile. Even if he has the money, he won't pay 140,000 yuan. Rong doesn't have the money. Even if he has the money, he won't pay 140,000 yuan. I don't have money and I don't owe you money. Rong forces himself to look at Chao Liang in the eyes. He knows that he may not win by being tough, but he will definitely lose if he is weak. In this world, these people will just beat him up. He will never agree to pay 140,000 yuan to Rong. Chao Liang bursts into laughter. Suddenly, he pours the wine on Rong's face. You're shameless. Brother Bao, do it. It was one of Brother Bao's men who hit Rong. Rong doesn't know how he offended the rich man in front of him. Rong is about to be blackmailed by him. Rong is punched in the face twice. Chao Liang has a twisted sense of pleasure when he bullies ordinary people. When he sees Rong's neck is stepped on and he is lying on the ground, Chao Liang's pleasure reaches the climax. To be honest, I don't need your 140,000 yuan. If you're willing to kowtow 3 times in front of everyone, I'll write off the money. I heard that your sister just started middle school today. Do you understand what I mean? Rong struggles but can't move. He clenches the red carpet in the room. As he expected, these people are just bored and they are here to make fun of him. Just because of this ridiculous reason, they want to threaten him and investigate his family. Kowtow 3 times. This is a matter of dignity. On one hand, it's his dignity. On the other hand, it's a potential threat to his family. Rong feels that time is passing slowly. He has a bitter taste in his mouth. After being punched twice, his teeth seem to be loose. Laughter comes from above Rong's head. Rong feels dizzy. The dim light in the room makes him feel that ghosts are everywhere. What is dirtier than ghosts is the human heart. Rong feels dizzy. Yan Feng should have called the police. Unfortunately, as in the TV series, they will probably show up at the end. Chao Liang's laughter is like a slow-motion scene in a movie. When the door of the room is kicked open, Chao Liang doesn't even have time to stop laughing. A female voice says coldly, "You kowtow 3 times and we'll call it a day." Rong feels that the voice is familiar. He raises his head and finds that it is Luodong's sister, whom he met on the train. He remembers the beautiful handwriting on the note. It is signed, Lin Luoran. Why is she here? Yes, hurry up and kowtow 3 times, ah. Yan Feng held the wooden stick in his hand. His eyes were bloodshot, and he staggered as he stood at the door. Obviously, he was drunk, and he was like a fox pretending to be a tiger. Chao Liang smiles instead of getting angry. He says, "Student Rong, is it your little lover who is here to save you?" "Brother Bao, it's not good for someone to break into your place, is it?" Chao Liang says with a smile, "Mr. Rong, is it your little lover who is here to save you?" "Brother Bao, it's not good for someone to break into your place." Chao Liang also has a strange feeling. Why didn't the bartender and the security guard come to stop them when they kicked the door open? What on earth happened? Brother Bao laughs. He steps forward and reaches out his hand to hold Lin Luoran's hand. "Little beauty, are you here for me?" Lin Luoran dodges his hand and looks at him coldly. "You have a foul mouth. Kowtow 3 times and we'll call it a day." Chao Liang is amused. Let's see who is going to kowtow. "Brother Bao, this little beauty is very arrogant. I'm afraid we have to play with her." Brother Leopard feels that he has lost face. Hearing this, he and his men laugh wretchedly. Several strong men surround Yan Feng. Lin Luoran pulls Yan Feng in and closes the door cooperatively. "Are you all right?" Lin Luoran looks at Rong. It seems that Rong has been hit several times. It's all his fault. He is not a good drinker and he drinks too much. If he didn't act like a drunkard in the hall, Rong wouldn't have been beaten. "Let's go. Let's get out of here," Rong says with difficulty. No matter how capable Luodong is, Rong is alone now. Rome knows what is going to happen. Chao Liang flicks his fingers and sits down on the sofa. It's too late to leave now, but Lin Luoran is indeed beautiful. She is much better than the vulgar men around him. As soon as some malicious thoughts flashed through his mind, Lin Luoran suddenly laughed in the dim light. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.